Hello everyone, and welcome to Resurgence of the Silver Siren. Thank you for joining us for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Sean, he, him, and I will be your Dungeon Master tonight. You are just in time for the event of the year as Isabeth Cuftgate and Patsy Hoot are tying the knot. We always knew those kids would get together. But this is not the only notable thing brewing in Kythyss as the devotees of Umberly are hatching their plans. But quite what those plans are remains to be seen. Now, let's meet the players and have a word from our sponsors.
Hello there, I'm Josh, I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Brian Calm, who also uses he, him pronouns. Brian is an elf of the Eladrin variety, who has been trained as both a druid and a monk, and has ventured around the Sword Coast a little bit and decided to jump on the sugar snap to come to Kythyss, and has been roped into serving for a wedding. I mean, that sounds perfectly reasonable, doesn't it? Nothing's going to go wrong, surely.
Hi, I'm Evie, I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Keith Feetfoot, who is a Harrigan, level 7, artificer, alchemist, bartender. And Keith is on this cruise, is on the Sugar Snap, and he is bartending this wedding and will serve you a drink of your choice.
Hi, I'm Nat, I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Enfia Hoot Owlin. She is heading through the plains. She's professional, adventurous, and spinster, heading to her niece's wedding to bless the wonderful day. And of course, nothing is ever going to go wrong when she's there, right?
Hi everyone, I'm Steve. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Werin Amor, a Aarakocra paladin who loves a good wedding. Actually, wants to make sure they run as absolutely smoothly as possible for no professional ulterior motives whatsoever.
Check out our sponsor, Phoenix Dice, for carefully crafted click-clack maths rocks for use in your favorite TTRPGs. Phoenix Dice work with recycled goods, meaning their products and packaging are all made with sustainable materials. You can go to phoenixdice.com to check their entire selection. And if you put !dice into chat, you can enter a raffle for a chance to win some dice of your very own.
Big love to our D20 club on Patreon. They're great, you're wonderful, we love you so much, and they help us keep the kobolds in line, which is very important. They get up to all sorts of cheeky jam-related activities. Anyway, the D20 club, they've created a fan Discord where you can come and chat about all things Roll Together, and they've created a wiki page to help you keep track of all of our stories, which you can find at rolltogether.fandom.com. You can join and be as cool as they are from as little as one of your local currencies per month by following the link in chat or in the description below.
We are delighted to be supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons strategy video game that brings together D&D characters from novels, adventures, and multiple live streams into a single grand adventure. You can select your heroes and formation, then battle through waves of monsters for free on PC, phone, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. And if you put !code into chat, you'll get yourself a free Electrum chest.
You can find us on social media by searching Roll Together RPG or by following the links in chat or in the description below. And if you can't join us live and also want to see any of our previous episodes, you can catch up straight after on YouTube or your favourite podcast provider by searching Roll Together RPG.
Finally, we run queer-friendly tables and encourage and support trans and GNC players and characters in our games. Our players and DM may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own. We aim to avoid misgendering but acknowledge that it does happen. We welcome corrections and have a company policy in place for correcting people on pronouns. Check out Safety in Chat for content warnings and some of the safety tools that we use through the TTRPG Safety Toolkit.
And now, let us begin. Hello and welcome everyone to episode 2 of Resurgence of the Silver Siren. So last time the crew were all aboard, or well, almost all aboard the Sugar Snap, a large ship, the largest ship that can safely dock at the Kythyss harbour without, scraping its bottom on the seabed. It's a ship that kind of ferries people to and fro between the Sword Coast and the Moonshae Isles, and was also where a wedding was taking place between Isabeth Cuftgate and Patsy Hoot, two residents of Kythyss who had arrived on that same boat. Things were kind of getting underway, and we met Faerun, who had turned up on the ship and was attending the wedding, but no one could quite tell on which side. We had Keith, who was serving drinks at the bar at the back, and we had Brian, who was serving the vol au vents to the guests. Shortly before the wedding did get underway, Emphia Hoot arrived the last possible moment via a Faerunian barge, and quickly made her way to the wedding just before, as I say, it began in earnest. And begin it did. We had a bit of a speech from the Turkey Aarakocra priest of Lathander, and we saw Lengfair Deer Hog, the pig folk, who was the ring bearer for the ceremony. However, as Lengfair got to halfway down the aisle, she was suddenly encased in fog, as were many of the other guests, and you could all, or mostly all, hear the Sahuagin interlopers as they climbed up the side of the boat for an unknown purpose. A fight ensued, as often happens in these kind of things, and during which point Brian used a mighty breath to disperse the fog, revealing that Lengfair was kneeling, crying in the middle of the deck, having lost custody of the rings. You managed to either knock overboard or knock out most of the Sahuagin, one of which being the priestess, who had briefly cast a spell to create a fake moon and transform the ogre bouncer into a were-orca. And that's more or less where we're picking up, because you've all kind of clustered at the back of the boat. Keith has offered drinks all round for anyone who was involved in the combat. Some of the wedding guests may, claim to have had more of an impact than maybe they had. But I mean, seeing as their family did pay for the wedding, then fair enough. What can everybody don't all jump in at once, but what do you think you would be doing at this kind of moment in time, thinking back to the events of the last episode? I think
where it would be sort of mentally going through the guest list and who's left the ship right away, who's staying, and scaling about where is, wondering. We know spoke with Lanford, but where's the rest of the wedding party? Like that's the key. Where's Isabeth? Where's Patsy? Empty is, I think, near near that the Hoot family.
Did you get a good look at the guest list?
I was
or kind of scanning around.
I was scanning around because I was off in the corner of the party, kind of watching Drew let everybody in after me. So I don't have the names, but I would try to know who. Yeah, who was new and noteworthy there. So the mayor and such folks.
More remembering the faces in the crowds rather than mentally remembering the names. Okay, well, I will still ask you for a history check.
A history check, sure. Yes. And breaking with tradition, a roll an actual d20. History is 8 + 3, 11.
11. Okay, so there's a few blind spots, like your you know, you're reeling through, you know, you're kind of counting, right? There's the number of tabaxi that you feel should be there, and then counting the owlin. And then it's a bit trickier when you get into the kind of slightly more random townsfolk who had been in attendance. You can see that the mayor is still here. You can't miss the mayor. Their suit is emblazoned with all manner of sequins and tiny bells and just every embellishment possible. Speaking of the kind of main wedding party, so like Patsy, Elizabeth, Tostin Hoot, who you had spoken to before, who had walked his cousin down the aisle. You can see that there's about so they are there, and I believe that they're with Emphia at the moment.
Okay.
Most of them.
I think I came. We were at the more towards the prow of the ship, and we moved towards the stern, the rear of the ship. Thank you. I moved towards the stern when drinks were offered by Keith, and that's kind of where we got to. Keith was making me. I think it was a pandemonium or something like that.
Something like that. It was very convoluted. There's a lot of shaking.
Yeah. So I think Emphia would be bustling the family around and trying to make sure that they're all okay, preferably with a drink in hand. But obviously they're free to deny those. But she would be fussing and fluffing.
So yeah, the Hoots I think are very much and Isabetha are kind of being cared for by Emphia, and you count 5 other tabaxi.
Okay.
Out of a possible 9. You see the mayor. You see the mayor's aide with them. Lengfair's still here. There's a couple of kind of other nondescript people. You know, they don't have the kind of little exclamation mark over their head, so you don't think they've got anything really. That's kind of all you're going to get with an 11. Like, if there was anyone that you specifically thought of that you might want to talk to, you know, I'm happy for you to out of character say, oh, would I know who the blacksmith was? Are they here?
Gotcha.
And I will confirm or deny that, dependent on what mood I am, my whims. Grand. Evie, what's Keith up to?
So Keith is probably a little bit busy getting everyone free drinks that he promised them. Probably looking over to see where his boss is, just to make sure this is okay and I'm not spending all of my pay on getting people free drinks on a whim. And also probably has like a little bit of a dejected aura, kind of being like, oh, there's an adventure to be had. I'm sure someone else will tidy this one up. It's not for old Keith to decide. I'm just a bartender. Wipes counter, sadly. That kind of thing.
And Brian.
I reckon I've picked up a couple of the trays that have still got some food on them, and I've taken position sitting on the spellcaster who is currently hogtied on near the helm. Just sort of sat there eating food, shouting down to Drew every now and then to check to make sure that they're all right.
I think by this point, so Drew's still unconscious, like it's not a comfortable change or thing to go through. You can see that the captain of the Sugar Snap has kind of come up from below deck and is looking after Drew. You know that the captain's name is Captain Mo Rust, who I should probably have some sort of thing for a description. So Mo is male human in, you would guess, kind of late 60s, early 70s, like probably should be thinking about retiring, but loves sailing so much that just won't even conscience it. He wears a long coat, breeches, and waistcoat over a loose blouse top, and a bicorn hat. And you can see that he's kind of trying to keep Drew. Has noticed that Drew's skin's getting quite dry, and give me actually a anybody who's looking over could give me either an Arcana, religion, maybe a history check. If it's intelligence based and you can argue it, then I'm happy for you to give it.
Got 14 on Arcana.
14 on Arcana.
Survival? Can I know it's wisdom based, but could I argue for survival?
Go on then. Anyone else? Persuasion, perhaps?
I'm flapping with my nibblings, so I don't think she's paying attention.
Yeah, fair.
Where would get a 11 plus 3 for history.
On survival or?
For survival? Well, I rolled intelligence, so I rolled.
Oh yeah, no, I'm happy for you to do what you will. So yeah. What had you taken? Sorry,
I had taken the history.
History. Okay, so we've got Arcana, we've got history, and survival. What was your roll, Josh?
21.
21. Blimey. Okay, it's good you rolled high because I was going to give you a worse DC for the affront. Okay, so let's go with our the history roll and the Arcana roll. Mm-hmm. So you, wherein I believe would probably have looked up a little bit about the town. Like you don't want to travel somewhere that you don't know anything about. So the Wereshark incident is very well known, and one of the kind of stories that came out of it is about a Wereshark that was confronted in an alley. They apprehended the Wereshark, but kept him out of water for too long, and he started kind of choking in the dry air, requiring to be submerged. Evie, with Arcana, you remember very much the same sort of thing, but more from an academic kind of standpoint. Like it's one of those little tidbits of information that you've read at some point. You would remember that Wereshark and typically a lot of sort of amphibious beings are often limited by how long they can spend without being submerged in water for a bit. So you suspect a similar thing. Josh, with your 21 on survival, you get all of the above, and you would also kind of know that so what Mo is trying to do is just like use whatever water he has to hand to try and keep Drew from drying out. However, the water that he has to hand tends to be drinking water, or typically fresh water, like drinkable. You would know that given that Drew's transformation was into a sea-based were creature rather than a freshwater, that it probably needs some salt.
Captain, I'm not quite sure that's going to work. You might want to get some buckets of seawater. I think there was a leak on the way over, so we might have a couple of buckets that we haven't emptied yet down in the deck, so we could pour that over him. I don't really want to suggest throwing him in the sea, because that seems mean, considering the fact that he wasn't in control of what he did.
Ah, fantastic idea, Liam. He always called you Liam. You never corrected him.
That's fair.
I'll go get a couple of buckets of salt water. Could you keep an eye on him?
Yeah. I'm just sat here eating my food and keeping an eye on this one as well, as I sort of tap the Sahuagin on the top of the head with my elbow.
He does kind of look from you to the tray of vol-au-vents and shrugs and carries on. Wedding's over. Fair enough. Yeah, and we'll kind of head down, try and get some of the buckets of salt water, which thankfully have not been used anywhere else. Evie.
What's this conversation, and can I kind of deduce that, oh, this guy needs salt water from, I don't know how far away we are.
So the width of the deck is about 60 foot. I think I'd said that you were on the, oh god, now I need to remember which side is which. Starboard side, because the port side would have been the side coming into port. So, yeah, the bar was kind of towards the starboard, and so where Drew had been stood, obviously checking people in on that port side, he didn't get very far before he collapsed again. So he's literally just on the other side of the boat from you.
Okay, cool. If I can kind of get the gist of everything, it's like, oh, salt water, of course. Make sure everyone's got their drinks. Just be like, I'll be back just a moment, lovelies. Just
Oh, don't be
minute.
too long. These are delicious.
Yeah, drink that one first, and then I'll get you another. Okay, and then I'm going to make my way over to where the gifts are, take my box, look around quickly, unwrap it, go over to where Brian and Walker person, whose name escapes me.
Drew.
Such an easy name. What? And say,
But it's spelt with an H-E, so, you know.
of course, this is fancy.
D-R-E-W-H-E, because otherwise the anagram doesn't work.
I say, does he need some salt water, perchance?
Yeah, his skin's drying up a little bit, so Captain's gone down to get some of the buckets that we had from the ship coming over.
I believe I can be of assistance. I uncork one thing of the alchemy jug that I was going to give the wedding the bride and groom as a present, and 12 gallons of salt water is suddenly available. You're welcome.
Thank you. Captain's not going to be happy when he sees that, having to bring up all of those buckets, and then we just got this here. But hey, I'm happy with it.
Yes, please do use it responsibly. I've got some duties back at the bar. Please try and put it back on the table when the 12 gallons have run out. There's a good person.
Okay. Yeah. Does it just keep coming out? Is there a command word to get it to stop, or does it just all come out at once?
As long as you pour it, it will come out with the required amount. It will stop at some point, and then you'll need buckets. But it should be fine for a moment.
Okay, I'll have to try and find somewhere to position it so it can sort of come out and fall on him without me getting a dead arm. And I don't really want to leave this person here.
Well,
I'll work
it
something
only
out.
weighs 12 pounds. It doesn't feel like it holds 12 gallons of water.
Oh, okay. Right. I'll work something out. Don't worry. I'll probably just pull a crate and just put it on the end and let it just pour on his head.
Okay, Keith walks away thinking Brian's a little bit lazy. Just a little bit. Just a tad.
Maybe.
Now I've got some margaritas to pour.
Very, very popular drinking, Kythyss. As you kind of go back to the bar, you do spy just kind of walking up the gangplank, brunette, just coming back. Well, I heard that there was a bit of a kerfuffle. I was back at the bar setting up.
Yes, there was some sea people, I forget what they're called, came in, caused a kerfuffle, but we saw them off. They'd taken the rings though, and everyone was kind of flustered, so I may have promised free drinks for people that helped with the fight.
I mean, that seems like the least that we could do. That's fine.
Good, it's not coming out my wages?
No.
Okay, excellent. Just need
You do have an allowance for
Oh,
comped drinks. Did you read your contract, right?
I feel like I get told this every time and immediately forget it again. Like, oh, that's wonderful. That's a lovely condition. Thank you so much.
I feel like he's probably also doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Like somehow just keeping afloat without realizing it.
I feel like I give way too many free drinks.
I was thinking that maybe we should. I mean, if these creatures are likely to come back, maybe we should retire to the twin anchors.
Yes, that might be a good idea. I wonder. Honestly, it sounds like the wedding was halted, so I don't know what the plan is for the wedding parties at the moment. But maybe heading back ashore would be a good idea.
Can I bust in at this point?
Go on, you bust in.
Everybody just kind of swans in and like a very firm wing on Burnett's shoulder. Ah, are you the head of catering?
Oh, yeah, I suppose I am. Yeah.
I wanted to say a wonderful job. Your barkeep here is just the best. You should make sure that he gets plenty of work. He's doing wonderful things for you. Now, I just thought it might be a good idea if we get off this boat and retired somewhere else. Did you have anywhere that might be suitable?
Brunette kind of. There's a moment where like the temper almost starts to kind of rise, and then she kind of swallows it back, puts her customer service face back on. That's a brilliant idea.
I know.
What about if we went back to the bar, the Twin Anchors?
Oh, that sounds very quaint. Lovely. Is that your property?
Mm-hmm.
Just
It used to
looking
belong
at
to my
Keith's
aunt, but
expression,
yeah,
like-
it belongs to me now. Sorry.
Good. Yes, well, I think that is an excellent idea. I would like to make sure that we have everyone that was around for when the ruckus started coming with us, because I feel like with all the fog, there was a lot to miss, and we ought to sort of have a little hoot together and figure out what everyone saw. It's not even a pun. I don't know.
Just after this, just before answering Emphia, I will say to I haven't got a head for names today. What's her name?
Brunette Ragehoof.
Brunette Ragehoof. Oh, what a name! I will say to her in Minotaur, because I speak Minotaur.
Nice.
She's been like this since she arrived. Just go with it. She seems to think she's the center of everything, and somehow becomes the center of everything.
Matt ferociously looking to see if Emphia also speaks Minotaur.
Double checking. Yeah.
I
If he
mean-
doesn't, you're safe.
No one ever speaks Minotaur.
No one ever speaks Minotaur.
I always take
it on a
it.
t-shirt.
Hopefully it'll come in handy. And finally.
For those of you who missed the description of Brunette, Brunette is a slight but surprisingly sturdy minotaur who typically kind of wears your standard sort of peasant bartender sort of garb, but is dressed up a bit. You can see, however, that she's like undone the top button and loosened up a little bit given current events. Patsy Hoot does look around. Someone during the conversation had said that they weren't sure whether the ceremony was going to continue, and she kind of looks around and says, "Oh, well, it appears that the priestess were buggered off. So, I think we might have to postpone."
That is a good point. Where did the priest go? Did we see the priest sneak off, or?
Give me a history check.
Okay. Sneaky priest.
I mean, observing where the priest is would be something that Word would want to do as well.
I'm happy for you to similarly roll a history roll.
That's a 13.
13. You're fairly
21.
21. Okay. Yeah, with a 13, I mean, you're fairly certain that he was there, like you're fairly certain you were protecting him during the fight. And then it gets a bit hazy because you were very much focused on, your nieces and.
I did a big slap as well when my back was turned.
Yeah. So There's you're not too sure. Wherein you're fairly certain that once everything had kind of calmed down and forces were subdued or sent packing, that the priest was one of the first to toddle off the boat.
So I guess we'll sort of approach Brunette and Envia and all this and just chime in. I think we'd have to postpone the priest. The priest was one of the first off the ship after the fog lifted. So I hope you've collected all the contact information. It should be all detailed in the contract or at the latest temple, because the duty is left undone once we find these rings.
Outrageous! I think in this day and age, a good priest should have the wherewithal to know how to fight.
What if it was the priest what took the rings?
That is a good theory. We should add it to a board. Someone make a board.
I go get red like string and start putting people's pictures up.
And you, sir, from whence did you come? I didn't notice you before, and I would have noticed.
I mean, I couldn't take my eyes off you since you arrived. You're the type of person that, certainly knows how to handle themselves at a party, which is exactly what the occasion like this needs.
So forward after just meeting. You've not even told me your name.
Warren. We call me Warren. Warren Amore.
Indeed.
Are you?
De temps en temps.
Oh.
Quelquefois.
Emphia hoot as you'll present a wink.
He'll accept the wig and step back.
And you
respectfully.
You were assisting us during the ruckus, were you not?
I not as ably as you, keeping everybody apprised, but I guarded the perimeter as best I could, and I see that the young help, pointing it to Brian and Keith, have taken care of the Sahuagin priestess. We seem to have many folks to interview and find out where these rings have gone to.
We'll just sort of lean to Patsy as Warren is finishing talking and be like, I didn't know you knew people with such fine plumage. Where did you know him from?
Oh, I think that he was on the Tabaxi side, actually.
Oh. We'll look at Isabeth.
Isabeth just...
Interesting.
One...
I add him to the board.
one of the other Tabaxi kind of pops over. It's not the one that you'd seen walking Isabeth down the aisle. The one with the slight sort of burn on their face. It's all of the other ones look very similar, apart from maybe some of them are wearing slightly more wedding shirts rather than blouse tops. But the general look is very much that kind of similar shade of color to the green dress that Isabeth is wearing, except it's a three-piece wedding suit with a pale green shirt and green bow tie. And one of the cats comes up as anything that I could do to help at all? Sorry, Ian. I'm Ian.
Ian?
Yeah.
Was Ian here before?
Oh, I'm not going to ask for a new history roll. You got 13. Difficult to say. I mean, at some point, all of the Tabaxi were around because there was a point at which you could count 7 sitting in the pews, and then 2 at the front. But as far as you're aware, Ian's one that has been around the whole time.
Question.
Yes.
Ian ordered a drink.
Probably yes.
What is the drink? A drink can tell you a lot about a person.
Interesting. I mean, at this point in time, it's probably going to tell you that Sean doesn't know a lot about drinks.
That's fair.
I would say it is probably something with tequila in it.
Ooh, an adventurous type, or at least he thinks he's adventurous.
Good, I picked that right then.
Interesting. Adds to the
17-year-old me feels attacked.
Steve, you were the former. Definitely. The adventurous type, not the wannabe.
I don't think that Emphia trusts anyone apart from like her immediate family and Isabel at this point. Isabeth, sorry.
Mhm.
At this point, because the tabaxi, she clocked before that the tabaxis were all like, oh no, I can't fight. Why? Ooh. So she's going to am I right thinking that Isabeth's interpreter has left, so Patsy is currently interpreting Isabeth?
Yeah, the you can't see the interpreter, but Patsy or any of the other tabaxi all speak it Faerunian sign language. So
Great. So she will turn to Isabeth, but also clocking Patsy to interpret, and say, now, please do not take this the wrong way. This is the first time we are meeting, and you are very charming. But that means that you are our expert on your side of the family, and who may indeed be involved in a positive light, and who may be less trustworthy in this situation. And she's just saying this like Ian is off to the side and has been like, offering to help, are you? Now then, she's just like now talking to Isabeth and Patsy.
I'm still here.
How do you feel about this Ian fellow, my dear?
Oh well, all of the family that arrived are Isabeth's siblings. Oh.
That doesn't mean that they aren't to be trusted.
Patsy looks over, will kind of give some signs, and Isabeth at first kind of looks a little bit offended, but you see the kind of, yeah, fair enough, and signs back to Patsy, who then says, no, she says they're all trustworthy. They are eccentric, but all apart from Isabeth, they've taken up as investigators. So she thinks they might actually be quite helpful if any of them are up for helping.
They've taken up as investigators, and yet, where are they investigating? Not the crime scene, it seems.
I think 3 of them aren't here. Maybe they're investigating.
I feel like we need to establish a base of operations with this excellent cork board you are working on, young man.
The game is a hoot.
It is a hoot indeed. I love a good crime.
That was amazing.
That was. Still needed a boo.
I like.
Oh, I mean, a hoot done it is really what the occasion needs.
That is a boo.
I'm now using these two
So many
at
cards.
the same time.
But I mean, where would we go to Ian? Well, where? How do they investigate? With whom do they investigate? Is there a signal? Where have they gone? Where have they? Who are the 3 that are missing? Because he's like, you were 9, and now I see that we're 5. And he's like, he's constantly counting, and unfurling like feathers on his wing. That's how he keeps track of things.
Ian's going to kind of chime in at this point because he was hanging around this whole time. I can help. So let's see. Right, Isabeth, you know Isabeth. I'm Ian. That over there's Icathet. Indigo isn't here. Ignatian is not here. There's Ike. There's Edith. There's Ichabod. And Inigo's the other one that's not here.
Can I just check, is Edith spelled with an I, not an E?
Yes, they are all spelt with I's.
It's almost like they have eyes everywhere. Thank you.
I must agree.
Very useful
Letter
to have.
I is added to the corkboard.
It's very useful to have cat's eyes in the street.
E.
Getting off track. No, they're probably around.
Probably.
Probably.
They're definitely around.
And you, young sir, just starts like walking around Ian, kind of flapping her fan in his face. Where were you when the rings disappeared?
I was sitting near the front, in the fog.
And why were you not assisting in the defense of your cousin?
I'm not a fighter. I'm an investigator.
This
Feel free to-
particular tabaxi, does he look like that's true?
Feel free to roll insight.
I will. That is a nat 20 for a 27. There's a fan flapping in his face.
Okay. With a natural 20, and I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't have accepted much less. It doesn't look like there's a lot of truth to that. It feels like maybe it's a twist of the truth. Maybe isn't as good as fighting as perhaps some of his siblings. But with your natural 20, as you're kind of pacing around and looking in, you clock that Ian has a very small cat collar with a little pendant with a moon symbol on it, which I think is a symbol of saloon, if I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put it on the corkboard, but Ian has jumped up to suspect number 1 for mysterious tabaxi on the mast.
Oh no, that's all. I mean, out of character. That's Inigo, right? Inigo Montoya.
Also, or is that a red herring?
Is it a red herring?
Is it a red-
completely
This
throwing
is
us off.
very. I like that Enfia has basically become our pro. I can't.
Well, yeah.
I can't say it.
I mean, surely she's more of a Miss Marple. I mean, not quite as old, but yeah.
Yeah.
Or a Jessica Fletcher.
Ian,
There we go.
Ian kind of goes, I don't know who Montoya is, but Inigo's surname is Rope Master Chaos Town.
Oh, okay, yeah. Joint first.
Do you all have such long and elaborate surnames?
Yeah, it's a family tradition. We name each other based on something notable that we've done, or
And what
in
is
most
your
cases,
surname?
it's hilarious.
What did
Well, so
Rope
what
Master
is yours?
Chaos Town do to earn such a name?
I
Well,
feel like sword the mystery. You're now going to have to tell us every single surname and why.
Well, okay. Inigo, right, was the runt of the litter, yeah, but is a real triad, but often with wide-ranging results. We couldn't really pick just one incident. There were too many.
That's a really long name.
I will post them all in the chat for the kobolds.
I think we'll proceed through the rest, but we need to know yours, Ian. Do tell.
All right. I'm Ian Raggleshy Rattlecat.
Raggleshy Rattlecat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I leapt off a roof when the rattlesnake came at me.
Oh dear.
I have to say, I am a fan of these Tabaxi naming conventions. Puts rag over shoulder, perpetually doing the same motion whenever he speaks.
Isabeth handcuffed herself to a farm gate.
That's a very long surname.
Isabeth Cuffgate. You know, cuffed to a gate.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Interesting. Okay. Well, that was an entertaining jaunt into the side plot. Has anyone done a sweep of this crime scene? Any results? You there, boy, over there, sat on the fish person.
Yeah, you can see that I've got a large amount of trays all piled up, completely empty now.
What have you seen from over there?
I currently have my friend being soaked in salt water. This person here hasn't woken up yet. Other than that, only what I can see going on down with you lot.
We should interrogate the perpetrator as well. Put that on the board, on the to-do list. Yes.
Give me a perception roll, Josh.
Perception, which is something I'm apparently good at. That is 13 plus perception, 21.
21. You have noticed while you've been sat on the Sahuagin that her skin also appears to be drying up.
Okay. I would have moved her over towards the jug and had the jug pouring on both of them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a waterfall effect, like
Yeah.
over the ogre and then down the Sahuagin and off the boat.
I would have put it on like a crate or a barrel or something, and then tried putting two things either side of it to stop it from rolling, and just so it's just pouring over the edge like a tap.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Around about this point, go on.
Oh, I was just wondering, as speaking of the priest and looking at the priest, we've seen Ian's in the saloon moon pendant. The priestess summoned the moon. I'd like to scan at least the outfits and the accoutrements and see if there's anything lunar in the lunar in her appearance or her holy symbols or whatnot.
I see. Okay, give me ideally religion.
Ideally religion, okay.
But I will accept insight at a higher DC.
Okay, let's do let's gamble. Let's do insight at a higher DC.
I'd also like to check her pockets while I've been sat on her, just to see if she's got pockets or anything, and to sort of loot.
19.
She does not have pockets. 19, however, that does sound good. So the priestess is dressed in it's very much kind of found items and or like the sort of detritus that you'd get at the bottom of the sea. So like seashells, like conch shells as well, as your typical clammy type ones.
Who's it and what's it?
Sorry?
Who's it and what's it?
A couple of hujima flips, like, and then also like netting and
Got plenty of those.
may have been found from up on land and discarded. So sadly, no pockets, but you do notice that a roughly hammered. It's like a stone pendant that has been hammered out of, just kind of sea rock, but into the shape of. At first, you don't quite understand what it is. It looks like two crescent moons backed onto each other at first glance, but then you notice that the top kind of edges of the crescent curves, if you will, aren't hammered into a point. And they're kind of left a bit more rough and bobbly. So it takes a couple of seconds, but then you realise that it's two waves backing onto each other rather than moons.
Okay.
And purely because it was a 19, I will say that you also remember that is the symbol of Umberlee, goddess of the sea.
So I don't see anything. I'll explain like much of this to the group. So not the moons, but the moon's dancing partner, the two waves acting together. This is a sign of Umberlee. So we have clearly oceanic forces with an interest in this wedding, which I find fascinating.
What did the sea say to the shore?
I thought it just waved.
It did, yeah. Damn.
Darn it.
Woot!
Holds up a boot card in character.
In character.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Warren Amor, for your stunning insights there. Shall we do a quick sweep of the deck just to make sure that that dear Langfar hasn't just dropped the damn thing, and then retire to the tavern to properly begin our investigations?
Oh, Auntie, I think I might take Langfair and some of the others back to the tavern, but certainly if anybody else wants to help, then they can.
Okay, well, don't let any of them out of your sight, my dear. Everyone is a suspect. And she'll sort of like eyeball everyone at the scene.
As you kind of point around, like Patsy's head, like owl-like, just kind of follows.
Oh yeah.
So-
It's a whole 360-degree like look around.
Cool. Yeah. So most of the assembled people do head off. A couple of the tabaxi kind of look like they might, but then decide to go with Isabeth and the siblings, leaving you four.
Can we have roped in some of the more trustworthy people to take the Sahuagin to the inn so Brian and Keith don't have to carry her the entire way?
Yeah, I'm happy for you to have asked. I mean, I'm guessing, given your initial distrust, you probably wouldn't have asked any of the tabaxi. So, I also don't think I'd particularly trust the mayor or their aide. Not only because they're
It's got to be tossed in then.
Sorry,
It's got to be tossed in on his own then.
Okay. I
believe in you, dear. Go on.
I know you do. Oh.
You're
Okay.
stronger than you think.
I mean, Tostin is, despite being basically a wizard, is actually fairly hefty. So, will firemen's carry the Sahuagin. Could everybody give me an investigation roll as you look for the rings?
Nat 20.
Oof. Sorry, natural 20. Evie?
22.
22.
So technically 22.
A mere 17.
I rolled a 3.
to make it.
A 3.
Okay.
And Steve, you said that you didn't have a modifier, but it was.
I do have a modifier. I was excited about the net 20. So it's a 23.
22, 23, and a. Sorry, I'm so excited. 17. And a 3. Okay. With your 3, a couple of times you think you find the rings, but they turn out to be volleyball's.
I got. Oh no.
No, it's good. It eliminates a possibility. It's an excellent strategy.
Yes, clear the decks.
I imagine at one point it's actual onion rings that just fall on there.
Are these it?
No, those
Try
are
again, dear.
Oh, okay.
A couple of times you think it's onion rings and it's squid rings, and you spend much longer chewing it than you first thought you were. Everybody else with your 17 and plus 20s, you scour the whole deck. It takes you ages with a Brillo pad, but you can't find anything. You're fairly certain that if it was dropped, then they've gone into the water. But most likely thing is that was the target.
Very good. Well, with that done, any other thoughts about anything we ought to do here before we head off?
I'm gonna go get changed because this suit is torn to shreds and isn't very comfortable. So I'm gonna go get changed.
Fair enough. You do that. We can
Yep.
wait.
Go below deck and change into my proper attire, and then come back up.
As you're kind of going below deck, you do bump into Mo. Liam, I had a slight request. I think it might be best that maybe the ship stays in port for a little bit longer.
Okay.
We had planned on setting off this evening, but given the events, and also I don't know how it happened, but there seems to be some parallel slashes down the sails that are going to have to be fixed. Either way, I don't think that the ship's going to be in any kind of condition to host you, so you might have to find alternate lodgings.
Okay, no, that's fine. I reckon there's probably some trees or something in the town that I could already climb up and sleep in. That's fine. I'm quite interested to find out what's going on with the rings and stuff, so I'm just going to get changed and then I'm going to go help the wedding party investigate that, if that's all right, unless there's anything you want me to do around here.
No, you got shore leave.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Gotta go get changed, come back up.
Yeah, so you see the captain kind of head off. You realise that he never came back up with any salt water, but as he kind of walks off, you see that in his other hand there was a bottle of port. Back on deck, what are you kind of doing while you're waiting for Brian, or were you just going to head off as soon as Brian's back?
While we're waiting, I think Envy's going to turn first to Keith. Wait, like large, elaborate wing on the shoulder. My dear, I apologize. I did not actually catch your name before.
It's Keith. Suddenly, like rabbit in the headlights, ear twitch.
Keith, you're doing marvelously, Keith. Couldn't you make me another one of these? They're so good.
Oh, yes, of course. I'd be delighted.
Thank you.
Rag over the shoulder again.
Sure. And also keep notes as well. You seem to be very good at that. And then she's going to start walking around wearing dramatically, like a big like swoosh of the dress as she walks around you. Now, Monsieur Amour, you said before it was. Yes, quite. Well, you said before it was interesting that these fish folk have an interest in this wedding, and why? And I believe that is a very good question. One I also believe should be turned upon you, sir. Why, perchance, if my niece does not know you, and her fiancé does not know you, are you at this wedding?
I fiddle with my ring, nervously.
Steady.
Just tips and hairs. I have to show you something. And so
this is really not the time nor place.
I'm fascinated by these icons and symbols, and I have one to share with you. And so I open up a pocket and show this detailed this symbol of a beautiful human woman with flaming red hair. And I go, this is the love of my life. Not the actual love of my life, but this is the Lady Firehair Sue, whom I serve in all things romance and love.
Oh.
And we've heard about this occasion, and I've never seen such a true love as your niece has for her intended. And it would have given me great pain as a servant of Lady Firehair, as a servant of love, to see anything interfere with this event. So love is in the air, and suddenly, and whenever they were near, suddenly I appeared, just to see and make sure nothing ever happened to them. So I'm not part of the family, but I'm desperately invested in the success of this blessed day, and angered that something got in the way.
That sounds
But
so
you
lovely.
can't-
I'm going to insight check that. I didn't roll very well. That is a 13.
That is a 13.
Steve, just a quick question. Do stars also fall down from the sky every time?
They walk by, exactly. I mean, my base training was as a carpenter, and I didn't want to go into that. So there's an insight check. Hold on. I just want to check.
We're letting Steve get away with incredibly subtle puns here. So I'm just going to do while you're searching that, I'm just going to do an extended boo here.
Thank you, guys.
Just to cover all of those ones that you made as very throwaway comments.
I'll do that as well. We'll count those as 3 separate boos for the count.
Three separate boos. Thank you. I mean, it's a wedding, right? I mean, it's a boozy event in all cases.
For goodness sake.
You spilled my drink everywhere with that one, Steve. God.
Okay, so I just had to check sort of for the nature of the ring that I'm wearing. So do I roll against the insight check? Because this isn't a magical persuasion that she's applying. She's just using her formidable talents of observation.
Yeah.
And,
What is your passive persuasion or your passive deception?
Okay.
So you don't have to tell us which one it is that you're going to use, unless when you check it, Nat's 13 beats it. But if your persuasion and or deception are higher than 13, then you don't have to tell us a thing.
Sorry, I'm searching the sheets for passive perception I have.
Oh, persuasion or so basically whatever your modifier is in persuasion or deception, whichever one is true.
Okay.
And you don't have to tell us if the 13 doesn't beat it, or 3. I'm guessing you don't have to tell us.
I just said I don't have to.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Inscrutable, as inscrutable as a thing that has never been screwed.
Sure.
I remain unruffled.
Well, it's a very delightful story, but I suppose you're truly going to remain to be seen. It's all in the actions, my dear. We'll see how it goes. You're on the team for now. Keith, add to the to-do list. Come up with a team name.
Yes, ma'am. I just back to the bar, visibly terrified of Empia.
I think
I like you more and more, Empia.
I think Brian probably arrives back around about this sort of time as well.
I sort of pop back up, loosen up my trousers. I'm wearing very loose fitting monk style clothing. Arms are exposed. You can see that I've got these strange engravings on my arms. They're not tattoos. They look like they're actually engraved into my skin, and they form into like little constellation, like little stars, and there's lines that connect them, and it's all over his neck, all over his chest, all over his arms, everywhere. Right, I'm ready to go. Do a few stretches, eat an apple. Where are we going?
To the tavern. Away.
I mean, that'd be a lovely place to take the break, but it'd be a little bit too early, I think. So Keith would know the way because this is where you have been staying up to this point. So the Twin Anchors, the pub owned by Brunette, is it's still on the kind of piers, but the section of the piers that are largely still on the shoreline, raised up slightly so that when it is high tide, it's still above the water. It is it tends to be frequented by sailors, fisher folk, who've kind of come off work and gone straight to the tavern. It's an old shingled building, which the original roof was destroyed decades ago. and has since been replaced by the hulls of 2 capsized boats, positioned on a slight diagonal to the foundations of the rectangular building, so that the starboard anchors of both boats overhang and frame the main entrance. Despite the name Twin Anchors, they are of different styles and materials, one green with verdigris and the other red with rust. There's moss and damp on the walls, seaweed, barnacles littered about, and a variety of different kind of scratches and dents in each of the anchors, kind of adding to this very kind of mismatched, kind of piecemeal look. But as you kind of enter in, you can see that instead of the regular fisher folk and sailors who have apparently been turfed out for the event, or maybe being mid-afternoon, just a little bit too early for them, it has been laid out with kind of tables of, unfortunately now probably quite cold luncheon meats. And well, I say luncheon meats, mostly fish. Not very much meat in the town since the main butcher disappeared, and now there's a fishery, a fishmonger. Sorry,
buffet fish that's been left out.
Yes, buffet salmon.
Great.
Sushi rolls. Yeah. There's vegetarian options as well. It's not literally just kind of fish or go hungry.
I'm foreseeing Constitution saving throws in Brienne's future. That's all I'm saying.
The only exception to the no sailors rule is you can see that in one corner of the tavern there is a ghost who's very much dressed in a kind of corsair kind of vibe clothing, proving to everyone that this bar serves spirits.
Fucking boo.
You can see that most of Isabeth's siblings are gathered here, the Hoots. Not so many of the townsfolk. It seems that they've probably kind of gone home rather than come to here. But Lengfair did stick around.
Are the wedding gifts? Has the gift table been transported to the?
Oh yeah.
I got my jug.
This is a good point. No, it hasn't. So if you had brought a gift for the couple that, you wish to hold on to until the rescheduled wedding, you may have found your gift to repurpose it.
Could we say that, I mean, if we were the last ones on the ship and the gift table was right there, right? Surely we would have seen it and brought it. Could we just say that we did that?
You can definitely
Okay.
do that. Sorry, I'm getting some mood lighting in my room.
You are.
Oh wow!
I would have ordered Brienne to scoop it all up and carry it over for us.
I'm not actually that strong, but okay.
Well, Keith is busy, my dear. Keith has lots of other things to carry, like the corkboard.
I will say, when we enter the Twin Anchors, Keith will kind of step to the front of the group, do a wide sweeping gesture, corkboard propped against the neck for a moment. Ah, home sweet home. I present the Twankers.
No, that was the old name, but because that very reason we call it the Twin Anchors.
I'm just going to elbow Waring in the side and point to the spirit and go, huh, that's a lively one.
I feel like we should stop rewarding booze for the worst ones.
Dump it down.
We're just encouraging them.
Yeah.
Positive reinforcement. Who would you like to talk to first?
Gosh, well, loads of people, really. Did anyone have any preferences?
Would it make sense to make an interview itinerary?
I think so. Absolutely. Keith, draw a list.
Yes, ma'am.
I think maybe the Sahuagin priest might be a good one to talk to, and maybe
Yes.
Druid.
Yes.
And first, before they dehydrate.
Yes.
I will point out there is no way in any of the Seven Hells any of you would have been able to move Drew. So Drew was left on the boat. If you did want to try and talk to Drew, you'd need to do it when he was conscious on the boat.
I can cast enlarge, reduce, and make him smaller for carrying purposes.
Interesting. That is one way in the Seven Hells that you could potentially do it. Okay. I will allow a retcon and say that you would have realised there was no way you could have done that through mundane means. So yes, you can. What's your save DC? He's unconscious. Can you? For story purposes, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he can't resist because he's doesn't have the wherewithal. He doesn't even know where his wherewithal is.
Cool. Sorry, do you still need the DC? Oh, where we've... Oh, God. I just got that.
So we've now got tiny werewolker on the list. Just
Yep.
a small werewolker. Okay, so Drew, did you say this person's name was Brian?
Yes, my friend Drew. Oh, sorry, my name is Brian.
I was going to say, actually, I don't think I knew that.
We've been traveling together for all of 10 minutes, and I've not introduced myself. I apologise. My name is Brian Calm.
And so you seem to be Emphia Hoot, and yes, I am.
A hoot? I like that.
Yes. Anyway, so yes.
Drew's full name is Drew Dingus, by the way.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh.
Oh, baby Drew.
Oh. Poor baby.
Oh, this is my friend Drew. Drew Dingus. He has been a little bit of one with everything that's happened, so just be calm with him. That's my
I
name.
need to go on Urban Dictionary more before I do my anagrams, aren't I?
All right, so Hooligan caster, and then Mr. Dingus here, and then any other suggestions?
The priest, if we can find them.
Yes, we ought to track down the priest. Good.
Oh, I imagine the priest will be back at the Temple of Lathander.
Where is that in town? Is that close? We're here at the bar now.
It's up a bit.
Up a hill? Ugh.
To be fair, yeah, Emphia.
Fly.
No.
So,
But the others, having kind of been in town for a little bit longer, you would know that Kythyss is situated entirely on a kind of this steep slope of a hill, kind of nestled between two thin pincer-like cliff faces. Those of you who are from the UK, imagine Brighton, because that's what I did. So there's all sorts of kind of streets and alleyways. There's like a main thoroughfare that goes pretty much directly up the middle, leading to the town square. The town square, it's a bit of a misnomer because it's more of a trapezoid kind of shape. But a lot of the kind of main businesses trade off of the town square, and then the Temple of Lathander is on cardinal directions. Hang on. Yes, that's a pun, cardinal. I put myself off. West. The western side of the town is where the Shrine of Lathander is, which is kind of the dock skews on the west side as well. Whereas the Temple of Talos, the other kind of major temple in the town, is slightly off of the town square on the eastern side.
I say we prioritize the people who are here tonight for our interviews, and when need be, we cast out a little bit further for the priest tomorrow. It's getting quite late.
this sounds very wise.
Also, the pig, I don't know their name, but the pig folk person, they were the one that were holding the cushion, I believe. So maybe they saw in the fog cloud, because whoever took it probably would have had to have gotten quite close. Maybe they saw who took it, or at least might have a vague description that we can go off of.
A good idea. Is Langfire here?
Yes, you can see that Langfair is being comforted by Pixie at the moment.
Additionally, questioning those in the bar tonight has its benefits because everyone is just slightly inebriated and more susceptible to invasive questioning.
Now, my dear, that sounds like something that you ought to be very good at, being a bartender. Now, I don't want to deny you the joy of coming into... Oh, do you have a room that we can do interviewing in here? Perhaps a dungeon?
I think I have a room, and it may as well be a dungeon as how dingy it is.
Brunette's kind of is sort of in the general vicinity and does say, actually, I wanted to talk to you about that, Keith. It seems that the Sugar Snap isn't going to be setting sail, so our couple are, well, unfortunately, family are occupying their places, so they needed somewhere to stay. I was wondering whether I could give you a bit of money and they'll stay here, and you can. I'm quite good friends with the barkeep of the King's Head.
Of our enemies. You would turn me over to I don't know why I'm on. I'm in a weird mood, apparently.
I mean, it's a different clientele, but...
Keith just kind of starts wringing his ears, kind of back and over his shoulder, like, can I at least get my stuff first?
Of course, my dear. I'm not turfing you out, and I still want you to work here. I just...
Okay.
I don't have very many rooms.
Keith, if you don't want to stay with the competition, as you said, you could always kip with me for the night. I saw a really nice tree on the way in that I'm going to be staying in. So if you want to come with me, we can sleep there. If you're not opposed to looking at the stars, that is.
I have spent far too many nights sleeping in a tree, my good man. I'm going to take my chances with the competition, I think.
Okay.
But you're welcome to come with if you want. I hear they have very nice suites over there, to my chagrin.
I can definitely ask about a twin room or like a split room. I'm sure they'll be happy to oblige. Desperately trying to find there it is. My friend, He-Boy Ruin Toad.
Is his dad by chance He-Man?
No, that's a weird thing to say.
How? And it's full of people with the strangest names.
And his sister, She-Girl.
Moving on. So yeah, you can see that Lengfair is off to one side and being comforted by Pixie, who's kind of listening in but not paying huge amounts of attention. As you go to approach whoever you were planning on talking to first, you notice that the Sahuagin priestess, having been out of water for a significant amount of time, starts gasping for air. But that is where we're going to take our break. So, those of you who are familiar with my work, you would know that I enjoy setting puzzles and riddles and all sorts of things. You'll have noticed a number of anagrams. Feel free to work those out, but they are not what we are setting now. I'm going to give you an anagram. Not an anagram. That's what I'm not going to give you. I'm going to give you a riddle, and the players as well. If the players come back, this is why they've all got their pens ready. If the players come back and can tell me what the answer is, then they will get inspiration to use up until the next riddle. Which reminds me, any inspiration you previously had is gone. Your new riddle, however. I am a mediator. I join horses together with wagons. I hold the foxes away from the hounds. I've even been known to match dungeons to their dragons. What am I? I will read that one more time. I am a mediator. I join horses together with wagons. I hold the foxes away from the hounds. I have even been known to match dungeons to their dragons. What am I? And we will see you very shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of episode 2 of Resurgence of the Silver Siren. in the first half, we mostly kind of met each other because we realized that actually, you know what weddings are like. You don't generally get around to everybody that you mean to talk to, especially people on the other side of the party, as it were. So, yeah, you largely kind of finally introduced each other, got to know each other, and started to make your list of suspects on a chalkboard, which, of course, there is on a ship. It was probably, to be fair, had seating arrangements for the bar kind of written on it, and you're like, no, don't need that anymore. Repurposed. You scoured the deck to make sure that the rings hadn't just been dropped, and after getting changed and finding out that he was going to have to find himself some lodgings for the night, Brian rejoined you. There were some accusations and fingers thrown around. We found out why Faerun was at the wedding when he didn't seem to know anybody. But
Did we actually find out that?
I
Or was
mean,
he just sneaky.
we heard some words. We believed those words.
Hmm.
And have managed to relocate to the Twin Anchors pub where the reception would have been held had the wedding been held, or more than half of it anyway. You determined that you would like to start kind of questioning some of the assembled people. However, you noticed that the Sahujan priestess that you had captured has started gasping for air. It has been a little bit too long out of water for her. And that is where, I should probably work out what the end of that riddle was. So
I hope you know.
yeah, I'd need to find out. I'm hoping one of you lot know. Now, you did give me the correct answer, so I will read it, and you can tell us what. Actually, you tell us first, and then I'll read it, and people can know what it is while they hear it. Yes.
And?
The answer is and, or an ampersand. Technically,
I was going to check. Is it an ampersand specifically? Yeah.
I mean, horses for courses. The riddle was: I am a mediator. I join horses together with wagons. I hold the foxes away from the hounds. I've even been known to match dungeons to their dragons. It is, of course, an ampersand. So yes, seeing as you got the answer, Nat, you can have a D8. Which you can either use for one of your own roles or for anyone else's. This can span time and space, well, mostly space, less so much time. So even if it's kind of is a role that you're not witnessing, I'll allow you to use it.
I will try and actually remember to use it this time.
That was a lot of talking from me, so I think over to you. What would you do?
Quick, someone moisturize them!
I think she might need a head dunking in something. Is there like a big barrel that we could fill with salt water and dunk a head in it? It feels a bit counterintuitive because that's the way you normally get people to talk. Anyway,
yes, to the torture dungeon.
Yes,
What every good pub has.
We don't have a torture dungeon, but we do have.
Very
She she goes over and there's a barrel. It's one of the larger size barrels that you could quite happily put a whole person inside. She lifts the lid off and it's full of pickled onions.
I mean, salty enough? Let's.
That's acid. That is a pickling acid.
That's more vinegar than anything else.
I wasn't thinking so much the water, more the barrel. You wanted a barrel, right?
Yes, but where are we going to put the pickled onions? And
Keith, you'll
give
just have
me
to
10
eat them.
minutes.
While the priestess continues choking. Did you have?
Everyone,
I'll do
cook some onions.
I'll do a little lay on hands on the priestess just to ease ease how she's feeling, which is not fully proper because we haven't solved the problem of the breathing. But
you can remove
try
the
to keep her
condition.
stable.
Yeah, no, I would allow a use of lay on hands to alleviate drowning in air condition.
Mm.
Cool. Is everybody eating pickled onions?
Keith,
Scooped.
you were making margaritas, were you not? They are
Yes.
salty and liquid.
Drown her in margaritas. I hear you.
That'll help.
I'm gonna make enough margaritas to fill a barrel.
Oh yeah, because the alchemical jug's with the Drew, isn't it? Because both of them need it. Oh no, because Drew's with us. He's not on the ship.
Yes. No, we must have
But-
brought the jug.
Yeah.
You've got the jug.
Is there still salt water available in the alchemical jug, or has it all been used up?
It would have all been used up.
If we gotta
Um,
wait a day
So we
for
have
it.
to improvise. Is
Josh, could you
the-
please make me a Constitution save if you're eating handfuls of pickled onions?
Oh,
See, I knew it was coming. I didn't think it'd be for this. I thought it would be for the dodgy buffet fish.
I mean, you
I
know,
rolled
you've got to
well.
throw these curveballs sometimes.
I rolled a 9. I'm just
A
picturing
9.
myself like the anime protagonist who eats a lot of food.
Yeah, you're starting to get a bit of acid reflux from too much acidy food.
It's somebody else's turn.
I pass a margarita to Emphia, like a couple of them. Here, throw them in her face. Please.
Gladly. I mean, she will take a sip of one and then throw them.
They are delicious, by the way.
one for me, one for you kind of situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
She is a well-practiced drink throwing in face thrower.
I get that vibe. I see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
These things are all kind of temporarily, putting a band-aid on the problem. But yeah, you're going to need to submerge in some water, or try and question her very, very quickly.
Sorry, well, the pickled onion barrel is nearly empty now, right? And the margaritas have been keeping her going while that's been happening.
Has she, while she's choking, is she muttering at all? Is she speaking at all? Do we have a sense of what the language is? I forget from the
Okay.
for the previous episode.
Give me a insight or history roll. Your choice.
Okay, it'll be insight.
I'm going to generously say that Brienne's able to eat a third of a barrel of human-sized barrel of pickled onions, which I think is more than reasonable. I think I'd struggle with a jar, if I'm honest.
24 is my insight check.
24, nice. You listen in, and you don't know the language, presumably.
Mhm.
It's a language called Sahuagin.
Okay.
It is spoken by Sahuagins. So you kind of recall, from a previous wedding for some reason, where they had to get a Sahuagin translator in because it is the only language they speak. They do not speak common at all.
Mm.
That may be a problem.
Question,
Tell me what you think about me.
please. Create and destroy water.
Yes.
Can I create salt water, or does it have to? Because it says 10 gallons of clean water. Can it be salt water?
Salt water's clean. I don't see, but I've got nothing
Alternatively, we have
against.
salt.
Sorry.
Alternatively, we have salt.
Water, salt. Just do that.
Salt
Could
there,
you-
this fish
Do
will
the Homer Simpson thing where he's got the lobster and the fish, and it's like,
Yeah, get the right balance.
I will. What happens if I do it at higher levels? I will do it at second level, so I do 20 gallons of salt water. Some for her and some for the barrel.
someone's going to have to help me because I am terrible at liquid measurements in Imperial. So, okay, 20. So, all right, a gallon is 4.5 liters apparently. So, let's think about that in bottles of fizzy drink.
A regular beer keg, half barrel is 15.5 gallons. a full-size keg is... Wait. Half a
I'm
barrel
on a
equals...
barrel website,
Okay.
and they sell big barrels that are 20-gallon barrels.
Ah.
There we go.
D&D, everyone. Learning things that you never knew you didn't know. Or maybe you knew that you didn't know that, and you never knew you needed to know that. All right. Yes, you can upcast, create, destroy water. It can be salt water, and not all of the pickled onions have gone, but I would say that Brunette has probably been running around trying to find other... Like, most of the pint glasses in the bar are now filled with pickled onions in pickled water.
Tostin, come and eat some pickled onions. It's your duty to the wedding.
Can't eat anymore.
Teeth.
I'm actually full. Oh.
Yeah, all of the tabaxi, everyone in the pub has been given a pint glass of pickled onions. And just looking around.
Incredible. All right, so we've solved that problem. Now we need to solve the problem wherein you suggested that this person may not speak common.
Right. I don't actually have anything for that.
Kind
I'm
of
afraid.
bobbing in the barrel at this point.
Is she still unconscious?
No, I would say that the choking woke her up.
Okay.
She's still
Offer her a
bound.
Stay
pickled
down.
onion?
What?
Can I offer her a pickled onion? I mean, they're going.
Could you roll me a dexterity save, please?
To keep
Ooh,
your fingers.
She tries to bite your fingers.
great. Oh, and she succeeds. I got a 6.
Yeah, okay.
Can I help by just slapping her hand down? I've got good reflexes.
All right. I will also allow Emphia to have a dexterity save to see whether you can save Keith's hand.
All right.
Oh, and if I fail a dex save, I can use lucky footwork to add a d4.
Okay, well, do you want to do that first?
That was a 4, so that's 10 now.
10. Okay. So, sorry, what was the total?
10.
Total is 10. Okay. I was going to say that because it would... Normally the priestess can do a bite attack, but because it was kind of a offering and reacting to, I was just going to take a passive bite, which with a +3 is 13. So I think we might need some interception from Emphia.
Oh no, that was a terrible roll. That's only a 9.
A 9.
None of that. Oh, get off my hand as well.
I was going to say it's probably you get bit and then Emphia realizes and smacks your hand.
Yeah.
Which probably causes the teeth to rip and just becomes worse.
You're going to take a D4.
Ooh,
Sorry,
love that.
I tried.
I was just trying to offer pickled onions. Who doesn't like pickled onions, everyone?
Right? Honestly, it's just rude, is what it is.
Mhm.
Not bad.
I try and offer her a margarita with the other hand.
That is 4. She
Cool.
kind of hisses, and you get the idea that maybe the margarita.
She's had enough to drink, dear.
I mean, she doesn't really. I will give this to you for free without rolling. Like culturally doesn't really know what's going on. Like she's woken up choking, and then she's been stuffed in a barrel, which, you know, regardless of what it's filled with, is still probably going to smell like vinegar. Salt and vinegar now. It's like the inside of a bag of crisps.
Oh, and it's like a fish and chip shop, and she's the fish.
Yes, yeah. She's having just very, very insensitive time right now.
I have grease. We could batter her. Sorry.
Well, the rest of the buffet's been ruined.
I could take heat metal if we want to just heat the barrel and boil her.
Oh dear. Does anyone speak Sahuagin?
Unfortunately, I
Open
don't.
call.
It's not in my capabilities, unfortunately. Sorry.
Well, What was that you said, Warren? I didn't quite catch it.
Oh, I was like an open call to.
Oh, yeah.
Does anybody speak to?
You, Tabaxi, next to the mysterious voice in the sky. Do you speak Sahuagin?
What
No,
language?
just walking
Do I
away.
speak? Do I speak Sahuagin, Master?
one of them. I speak Leonin or Sylvan or Undercommon.
None of those are what we asked for.
I wonder if Drew can speak it now that he's a werewalker thing. I wonder if it's like one of those things you unlock. Possibly.
Good thinking. Let's ask. Is
Let's
Drew
ask.
awake?
And still probably small. Oh, wait, no, I'd have to do a con save to see if he's still small anyway because of the bite.
Oh.
Oh,
Yes.
that's fine. I got a 19. You can still.
Good. Sorry, my cat is now giving me death stares. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh.
No, it only lasts a minute. He's big.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was long enough for you to get him down the pier, plonk him down into a pew, and then.
Boom, boom,
So
boom.
is he still an orca, a were-orca?
I mean, okay, technically, yes, he is still a were-orca, but he is currently
still
in giant form.
Okay, right, not in orca form.
Yeah,
right.
not physically, like emotionally, ecumenically.
Is he still like drowning?
No, he seems to have less of a limit to his amphibiousness, if that makes sense. So presumably, as a creature that lives on land but has been given the abilities of a sea-dwelling creature, you have Drew has a little bit longer before he goes without, before he has to be submerged, whereas the Sahuagin priestess only has, judging by how long it took, maybe half an hour.
Sorry.
Love my cat.
It's like the audience just watching you intently.
It was just a little sly over the shoulder.
What are you staring at? Oh, sorry.
So the priestess is awake, and feeling peckish, but not for onions. I wonder if I could take her Umberly thimble, because I have it, and just like a flashcard, just try to draw her attention to the other people in the bar. She has the symbol, she has this sign, so I'm wondering, like, place it near the tabaxi. Do her eyes light up? Does she look angry? Place it near the owlin. Place it near the landfear. Does anything sort of toggle?
Ooh.
I'm trying to get her attention. I'm just trying to gauge reaction. Not that I know, all the expressions a hooligan is capable of, but if there's strong emotions, anywhere, maybe there'd be.
Yeah, no, I really like that. Let's go with insight, I think, to see if you can read
Okay.
expressions.
I have a thing I can do to help if you need it.
Okay.
Well, so I have an idea for a thing that could help.
An idea. Well, let's roll, and then we'll. And that is a 14 plus 5, 19.
Oh, 19. Okay. What was Keith's thing, or do you want to save it for another time?
So I could have done a thing that would have allowed you to add an amount, but you probably don't need it. The other thing was to infuse a little bit of metal or a bit of paper or a napkin or something with the image of like the rings, or like an important image
Oh,
you don't have available, to see if that triggers anything.
I think let's do that as well. So we'll do the people around. So you don't see any kind of discernible reaction between the Owlin family, the Tabaxi family. When you draw the priestess's attention to Lengfair, her eyes do narrow, and he seems to maybe recognize in a way, or kind of scans about Lengfair, like almost trying to determine something about Lengfair herself.
Okay.
that's the main reaction of the people in the room. When you infuse the metal with the image of the rings, she hisses, and there is a fairly visceral, almost confused expression as like she believes that you've got the rings.
He doesn't like the rings.
They're not made out of silver or anything, are they? I know that can be a bit of a deterrent for those who are afflicted with lycanthropy.
That's a big word for you, Brian.
It was a pretty big word. I'm actually quite proud of myself.
You should be. Well done, buddy.
Thanks. Give me head pats.
Could we say that I would maybe have some silver jewelry on me, not specifically a ring, that I could like show to see if there's a similar reaction to prove that theory?
I mean, you would certainly have silver pieces, like money.
Oh, that's true.
But Emphia probably strikes me as the sort of person that would have silver jewelry as well. So you could either do that or what are you trying to do with the silver jewelry?
To establish whether her negative reaction was to, as Brian was suggesting, whether her negative reaction was to the rings specifically as a symbol, or whether it was to the silver because there's some lycanthropic nature.
Okay. When you hold the silver kind of close to her, she doesn't seem to flinch or anything particularly then. If you were to do the same to Drew, you do notice that there's no reaction at the moment. Drew's still unconscious, but if you were to just kind of lightly touch his skin with the silver, it would start to kind of go red as if under a rash.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. That seems
You wouldn't want to. I imagine you'd probably, as soon as you saw it, kind of pull it back, sort of thing. I mean, to be fair, you know that he's a orca and therefore going to be allergic to it.
He's not very aware at the moment. We'll just turn to Brian and be like, "Well, it was a nice theorem, my dear, but no go."
I've got one other idea. Sean, which of the two brides was the one that was deaf? Was it the Tabaxi or the Owlin?
So Isabeth is deaf, and Patsy, but Patsy knows Faerunian sign language and can communicate with Isabeth.
Patsy?
Oh,
I don't know if this is a thing, but I'm guessing underwater speech might be a bit difficult for Sahuagin. Could you try some sign language to see if she understands it?
Oh, it's worth a shot, I suppose. What do you want me to say?
Hello, hello to start with. Just, and then just say hello to her and ask her why they attacked and what the problem with the rings is, and then as part of that, I would like to insight check her as the sign language is going to see if she registers that she's understanding it a little bit or completely or whatever.
Maybe tell her that we'll let her go if she answers our questions, so she feels reassured.
Give me an insight check.
Insight's not that bad. That is a 12 for a 17.
Okay. With 17, so Patsy starts trying to sign some of the kind of Faerunian sign language greetings, and is trying to intimate some of the questions that you've asked. Patsy's sign isn't as good as perhaps, she's not fluent, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So she struggles over some of the concepts that you try to put forward. with the 17, however, you can see that the priestess is not really paying attention, not really following. So you feel like Warren's assessment that they only understand Sahuagin is probably accurate.
It was worth a shot.
Does anybody have the ability to, once an object is far from you, locate it again?
Beyond my capabilities, I'm afraid. Sorry.
No, mine too.
Not today, I don't think.
Tomorrow, perhaps?
I mean, these are long lost loves, and losses of any kind are things that are to be remedied. I could see if it's something I could request of soon, but I'd have to know more about the rings themselves. So Lanfear will have to.
I wasn't
help
actually
us out.
thinking of the rings themselves, although that is a good point.
Well,
No, I was thinking of we're at a bit of a loss with our the Sahuagin. I was going to say friend here. She's definitely not a friend. Interrupted the wedding. Bad Sahuagin. Anyway, we're at a bit of a loss with her, and it feels cruel to keep her in this barrel. As much as I detest what she did, until we can locate someone who can communicate with her. So I was thinking if we maybe plant something upon her that we can track once we set her free. Unless anyone has any other ideas, I'm a bit.
Well,
skeptical,
in that case, I'll return the Umberly token to her, because I've held it and I've known it long enough that it would be familiar to me, so that I could be able to use the locate object on it at a later time. It's not a spell that I have prepared now, but I know this very well.
And
turn it back.
Seeing that you have it, she does kind of reach out and snatch it and kind of holds it quite close to her chest.
She's still hogtied.
With both hands, she.
This.
Yeah. I think. Okay. Yeah. It's probably going to be more of a. You go to pass it to her, and she tries to snatch it as best she can, but with her mouth. And yeah, we'll kind of hold it to her chest.
Hold it to her chest. Give it back to her.
Yeah, holds it reverently as one can when one is tied up and using your mouth. Did I hear that you were talking about the rings that I brought?
Yes, Lanka, you were on our list. Don't worry. We just this lady is dehydrated, so that was more of an urgent issue.
That makes sense. I'll be over here when you're when you're.
No,
ready.
come now. You've made yourself known to us. Come, tell us what you need to say.
I give her a margarita.
I don't drink, but
Oh, hang on. A mock-urita.
oh, thank you. The ring used to belong to Garen. I don't know where Garen got it, but I mean he was he turned out to be a were shark. I don't know how long for. It never really occurred to me that it might have been something linked to that. It was just, I mean, it was the ring that it was in my nose actually when I came to, and I just thought it was just a, random throwaway little thing. So, when Patsy and Isabeth said that they were looking for rings, I said, well, how about we get this forged into 2 smaller rings? So we took it to Palmer Jack, and he had it turned into 2 rings.
Right. So we either think that maybe There's something to do with the metal itself, the original ring. So there's perhaps a thing from Garen there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. Garen's dead?
No, Garen got away.
Garen got away.
Yeah, Garen got away at the end of. Sorry, spoiler alert. Fell Tide Rising.
But is not in the town anymore. I mean, I wouldn't know that anyway. Okay, so maybe we should speak to this Garen. And
he's not about at the moment. No one really knows where he is. But the blacksmith.
How convenient. Make sure his name is still on the board, Keith.
Yes, Miss Emphia. Ms. Emphia.
Ms.
Mrs.
Hoot,
Emphia.
please. Ah, Ms.
Of course.
Professionally single, darling.
Of course.
Very strange profession.
That raises so many more questions than it answers.
Now, Pommerjack as well. Yes, they were also on our list already, I believe.
Well, Pommerjack's not here. I saw him. I think he was one of the first to go, actually.
Okay. Well, do you think we're going to be settling in here and questioning some people? Do you think you might be able to pop to the smithy and check whether he's still there, and then report back?
Yeah, would you mind if one of these nice tabaxi came with me for protection?
Would we mind indeed?
I
We're
can go
searching-
if you like.
Which of the tabaxi has ordered the most boring drink?
They are all drinking tequila.
All of them. Dear God, this family. Oh, degenerates. Can't trust any of them.
No, none at all.
Not
Poor
even any
Steve.
salt and lime. It's just straight good tequila.
Well, Brian, you offered. You could go.
I can go, yeah.
Oh,
You-
yeah,
you-
that would be nice.
You happy going on your own, or do you want one of us to? Should we completely split everyone up, or should we just send one on his own? That seems sensible.
I can go edges away from Emphia just a little bit.
Oh no, Keith, you're very important.
Uh,
No, you can go. It's fine. It's fine.
I think if I'm honest with the sort of connection that Werin might have made with or should I say that I think Werin may have made a connection with the Sahuagin with that symbol. So I don't know if that's an avenue that you might want to explore, or Werin can come with us, or we could all go.
Well, we should. I think Emphy is completely correct about not leaving the priestess in the barrel for all this time. So speed is of the essence. So we should probably bring her closer to the shore, closer to the sea, anyways, on our way out, and then so this could be a group activity, a group outing, and then check out the blackjack. Maybe she'll recognize something along the way, and there'll be some more reaction. We'll use her as a canary in a coal mine type of thing. See if she perks up for anything, possibly.
I assume there's like a trolley or something with wheels for carting around heavy barrels.
Oh, I'm sure we could find a.
Kind of load her
makeshift.
on and
Yeah, you'd be aware that there is something. You also probably wouldn't need to keep her in the barrel this whole time. Like once she's been submerged for a bit, she'll be all right, and then
Okay.
go for a little bit. If you wanted to take her out of the barrel, if she weren't going far, I mean.
I mean, she's kind of convenient to transport in the barrel, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, she's
Do
still
we think she'd be
hog-tied.
more comfortable outside of the barrel?
I mean, she tried to break up a wedding. Do we really care for her comfort that much?
No, you are right. Yes.
I will say though that I am very happy that the thought of offing her hasn't come across. I'm not really too good with that sort of thing.
Who
so
said we would be offing her?
No, this is what I mean. I'm glad that nobody's mentioned it because normally
It's
you
suspicious
come
that
across
you're
people.
you're the one that's raised the point, and that is suspicious.
I
Why
don't
do you want
Because
to
I'm-
murder her?
Because I'm
Have you
against
killed
it. I'm against it. So normally you meet with a group of people and they're normally like, we've captured this person, we've got all we can out of them, shrink, and then they're done with it. And it's not a very nice thing. So I'm just very happy that the general consensus is once we've got the information that we want, we're going to let her go.
I'm going to look at Warren's response to the idea of murder, just to kind of gauge the reaction.
I mean, Warren constantly looks unruffled. He just keeps a neutral expression throughout, but
Just
does verbally agree. No, there should be no cause
Would you say that he
to
looks
ruin
constantly,
this party.
Would you say that he looks constantly wary?
That's not a boo.
There's
I
not.
like-
I was
That's
trying
not
to. I was
fair.
trying to think of it, and it's
Hardly even a joke.
yeah. That's just terrible.
Wow.
I think Emphia will, at the end of Bryn's point there, will be like, methinks you are protesting a little too much there, young man. Keith, make sure he is on the list. Keep an eye on him.
I make a note in invisible ink on the board so Brian can't read it.
I mean, she definitely said it loud enough and in Bryn's face, but...
Oh, and then everyone saw me write on the board invisibly. So yeah.
A
Very
good
confused.
trick.
Very confused look on my face because I'm like,
Yes, anyway, before we depart, Keith, was there anyone else here that we said we were going to interview? Because it seems counterintuitive to go elsewhere and then come back.
There were some tabaxi on our list, I believe, though Evie has not actually been making notes of who they were, which
I
is
have the list of
awkward.
tabaxi names.
Well, we have Ian and we have Ike.
Yeah,
Edith.
Ian was trying to insert himself into the drama.
He
Yes.
was very helpful. And people who are helpful, like when you don't really know who they are, where they come from, like it's always a cause for suspicion. So I think
Yeah,
we
it
should
is, isn't it,
be-
Warren?
It is, isn't it? I mean, you would know if you ever come in, and you have to be aware. You have to be wary. And then Ichabod, I think, was the fourth name that we had.
We've got Ian, Ichabod, Indigo, Ignatian, Ike, Edith, Ichabod, and then Inigo as well. Has Inigo made their way to the inn?
Give me a perception roll as you look around.
Sure. I should say, actually, I've not been making a point of this. Emphia is observant. And she has the
Oh.
feats. My passive is 22.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, I would give you for free that there appears to be one fewer tabaxi than there had been on the boat.
Right. And we're missing the one with the scar.
Yes.
Okay. We knew that one was Indigo anyway. Okay.
You did know that that's Inigo. I think the ones that weren't there were Indigo, Ignatian, and Inigo. Correct?
Yeah.
I will say, even with the observant feat, because it is very difficult to discern between the different cats, and also, it was just like this one. You can't tell which one's missing now, or even if one returned and two have left.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Like,
Okay,
you know
well,
that Isabel's still here because she's the one in the wedding dress.
Was there anything like I, Nat, have not been making as thorough notes I feel as I should have for this mystery? Was there any specific things that we wanted to ask of the tabaxi, other than like, what's up with you? Why?
What? How do you investigate? For whom do you investigate?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, are you actually asking that to one of them now, or?
No. Well, just throwing that out to the group. Like, I just don't like. They're suspicious, so I don't want to leave before we've actually had a word with them because they might all disappear. But we're on a bit of a time crunch with our Sojourn in the barrel.
Yeah.
So, does anyone have any sending stones or any methods of communication across long distances?
Out of my capabilities, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Ugh. honestly,
Doing the
do
best
not
work in
pat
person.
my handbag properly this day.
Sorry, you seem to be expecting us to be able to adventure and mystery solve, but I'm just a bartender. We've got a
Yes, we
we've
can
got a
tell
bus
you
away
keep
from a wedding.
flipping your towel across your shoulder in a desperate plea for us to call you, what, I don't know, shoulder towel?
Please don't call me shoulder towel. That's what they called me in school.
Well, then maybe you should stop throwing your towel over your shoulder. I don't know what to say to you.
It's my arcane focus, goddammit. As of now, it is.
Great. Okay. How's about well, we need someone to interrogate the tabaxi, and then we need someone else to go and interrogate the blacksmith, and then we need to release the Sahujin. How's about I stay here and shout at all of the tabaxi, and you three go and interrogate the blacksmith, and then we can meet by the dock where the ship is to release the Sahujin and report back our findings?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, sorry. I was going to say, I mean, you're the professional single adventurer, so
Yes, I am.
it makes sense to follow what you say.
I am open to suggestions if anyone has any feedback.
I assume you are the only one of us here with actual adventuring experience. Looks to Warren. Gauge's reaction.
Where it is.
Smooth motherfucker.
It's far too. I know. I mean, if you'd be the life of the party, no matter where you are, but let's all stick together. Let's talk to the tabaxi right away, and then go off and bring the Suhujin. I'm sure we can.
Maybe we should
gather
split
their
them
attention.
up and take a couple each, and then we'll get through them quicker.
That's an excellent idea,
Okay.
and we'll shake hands. So let's invite them up for drinks, and we'll be on either side of the bar, checking out their vibes, and we'll see how we.
Can we montage interview these tabaxi?
I was going to say, in the
Yeah.
interest of, because this is not that long of a series, we'll say that you kind of, between you, go through the various tabaxi. I'll give you what questions do you want to ask? If you had kind of 4 questions, maybe.
Reading
I would
myself
ask.
and asking what a jellicle cat is. Sorry.
We should ask their investigators for what do they investigate? What's their specialty? We should ask how they feel about the Hoot family and Owlands. I mean, since a joining of the families, and we know one half the party more than the other. We should ask about their family history. I mean, the brides are being married with rings of an outside design. Does that bother them? Do they have something of their own that they would put in? How do they feel about those rings?
Try and make it as leading as we can.
Well,
So peculiar, so interesting, aren't they?
so interesting. You would be interesting. And that's 3. A 4th question. Infia, help me out.
I don't. What do I know? Did we had a? Go on, Evie.
Interesting adventurous tabaxi.
Yes.
We were going to
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
maybe ask about them.
Ask
Yeah.
about that.
About the masked tabaxi. Okay.
The math.
The
The math.
Master tabaxi. They're investigating, and how that's going. How they feel about the hoots, and how they feel about
How they
the
feel about it.
rings and the symbology of that.
Okay. So yes, in a montage, you will all go away and interview. I am obviously going to ask for a roll because this is a game and I'm not just giving you tidbits for free. So if everybody could please roll me, I will be kind. I will give you a choice: insight, investigation, or persuasion. That should cover all your bases. So
Could I argue for? Not joking.
How about acrobatics?
Yeah.
Some sort of narrative flex would be. All right. Insight for me.
I was going with investigation, and I got 17.
okay, investigation 17, insight from Warren
It was a 9.
was a 9. Okay.
I feel uninspired.
Well, I was going to say, actually, do you want to take the D8?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If it's on offer, I would.
Let's
take
get
the
it
D8.
done.
Let's get it done. Because what's happening is where it is surprisingly starting to trip over his words and get a little confused, but he looks at the confidence that Anthea has, where she's on the other end of the bar brandishing her fan, and that's good for an extra 6.
Nice. Okay. So 15 there. 15 17.
26 on insight for me.
Oof. Oof. Okay. And Brian?
Brian doesn't understand what's happening. I rolled an 8.
Okay. I mean, as an average, the party have rolled pretty high. So potentially, if someone saw Brian foundering, they might pair up and go in twos with Brian. Okay, so your questions. I will go for their investigations first. You hear a couple of their tales. Mostly, it's kind of fairly low level stuff. Like they don't tend to. It'll be, there might be a theft, but it'll be the obvious. Well, it was the town robber. I mean, it's Frank. Everyone knows Frank steals. And it's just like, or the cattle have run off, or very kind of low level, just things where it just needs someone with a slightly perceptive eye to look into. Each of them give you different examples, but generally speaking, that's kind of the gist. When you ask them about the Hoot family, most of them have only met the Hoots there and then, but their opinion is positive. Like they don't dislike the Hoots at all. Like, love is as love will be. So you get the impression overall, like that they're actually really happy for their sister. And I will say, particularly for Emphia and your particularly high role, when they kind of talk about Isabeth, you do get a little bit of a sense of, because she's the only one that doesn't investigate, doesn't travel around, like she's settled down, that they were a bit worried about her, and it's they're happy that she's found something that she's happy to do, even if it isn't the same thing that all of the others are doing. Somebody help me. I'm going to do the rings last, but what was the third thing?
Masked Indigo, masked
hero. None of them know who he is. I will say with the high rolls, you don't get the impression that that's true. But none of them, even with the kind of most leading of all leading questions, they won't tell you who he is. Or indeed she or they. Finally, the rings. Never saw them before in their life. They hadn't even actually seen them before the wedding. So the first time they were going to see them was during the ceremony, and they were not aware of it. However, one of them does say, yeah, I don't know anything about the three rings. But won't answer any further questions and just correct themselves to two.
Yeah.
Which one?
Which one said that?
Which one indeed? I'm feeling kind, so seeing as you rolled so high on average, I will say that you were able to determine that it was Edith.
Edith with an eye.
Edith with an eye. 2 eyes, technically.
Yes.
Edith Toasty Clue Liquor.
Toasty Clue Liquor.
Yep, she was caught licking burnt evidence to try and solve a crime.
Imagine if that's how you get your name. You get caught one time, and it's with you forever.
One time.
The trouble
I
when
like
you
to
get
think-
named by your 8 siblings in a committee.
I'm trying to decide what's more entertaining, Sean. The idea that all of these random surnames are going to form one giant puzzle for us to figure out at the end, or whether you're just giving them these names for your own jollies. Either way, I appreciate you.
I mean, yeah, like there's only so many things that you can do with a host of different anagrams to solve. The one clue I will give you is that there is a unifying word that if you pick it out, that will leave you a unifying theme for most of the anagrams.
I'm going to need these names.
I
Add
will.
it to the board.
What?
I will give, as part of the montage, I will give you all of their names. So you know Isabeth Cuffgate. You know Ian Raggleshy Rattlecat. There is Icathet Gold Dragon Wheat.
You're gonna have to put these in the Discord afterwards, Sean. I can't
Absolutely will
write this
do.
quick.
There is Indigo Fake Cattle Mush. Ignasian Odd Cat Strings. Ike Hard Tingles.
Excuse me.
Inigo Rote Master Chaos Town. Edith Toasty Clue Liquor. And Ichabod Bargain Hut Sockfist Butt.
I don't think we want to hear that story.
If any of you try to push to get Ichabod's name origin, no one will tell you. They just tell you to talk to Ichabod, and Ichabod refuses.
Yeah, fair. Fair. Dear me.
Yeah, they all want him to. All want him to admit to why he got that name, and he will take it to his grave.
Does anyone have detect thoughts?
Not only up to it, just leaves it more up to the imagination. It just makes it worse.
Does. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh,
So, I nearly went into a completely different character's voice then. Maybe it's got nothing to do with the families at all. Maybe it's to do with
Yes.
the original person who owned the rings before they were
Yeah.
forged into 2, 3 rings.
2,
Maybe the
3?
blacksmith will know how many rings it was actually forged into.
I think I'm just staring down Edith going, yes, maybe it's nothing to do with the family at all.
I can't remember which one wasn't there because another one had left. It was Ike.
Tabaxi, can't keep track of him.
It's like herding cats, honestly.
Yeah.
And how long have you been waiting to make that joke?
Yeah.
Don't reward him. We've just said this.
I'm now trying to remember if that's a spoiler, but you know,
What?
nothing.
Anyone got some rope? Just
It's
tie
all-
them all up and leave them in one place.
It's all in the barrel, I'm afraid.
Yeah, bit soggy. Anyway, shall we to the blacksmith?
yes.
To the blacksmith.
To the
Are you-
blacksmith.
Are you going to take the Sahuagin en route to the blacksmith?
Yeah. Put her on a dolly.
I think we'll try and like, knowing that she does not understand a word, but we'll still sort of hand on barrel be like, we're going to go see the blacksmith now, dear, and you're coming with us, and then maybe we'll let you go if you're playing nice, okay?
She doesn't.
Yeah.
Everything that's directed at her, she pretty much just hisses or growls in that kind of bubbly, almost like an underwater voice, but even above water.
On our way out, I'm going to go to the gift table and reclaim my gift and quickly, as quickly as possible, like unwrap it and stick it in the pouch.
Yep.
Save it for later.
Additionally, on our way out, I would like to get my stuff from my room so the couple can retire when they want to and head to the King's Head after.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
This is a good point, actually. Before we left, would have given big sweeping hugs to all of the family. Now, Patsy dear, where am I staying? In case you retire before we come back.
Oh, let me talk to Foster.
Your house, certainly, yes.
Yeah, of course. We'll get something sorted.
Good. Keep me posted. I'll return here beforehand. We're going. We'll let her know exactly what our plan is and where we're going. I don't think I had a chance to put my gift in the pile, so I think I've still got it.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
I'll take my jug with me as well. I can't use it at the moment, but tomorrow, mayonnaise.
I am wearing my item because I wasn't giving it as a gift. I do have one question though for wearing.
Yes. Yes, Brian.
Wearing Amor, do you want to be wearing armor? Is
do I want
to? Because you're not
wearing
currently.
All my stuff is still at the King's shoulders, so I have, and I don't know that we can necessarily stop, but I do have this trident, and we have this thing. I think time feels like it should be of the essence.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to check to make sure that you were fully kitted out, just in case something happened.
Fair. Fair.
In the interest of time as well, I remembered that you did also want to talk to Drew when he became conscious. In the interest of time, he does wake up. He does not speak Sahuagin, despite the change.
Oh, dread.
He still only knows common and giant.
And is he feeling okay?
Bit groggy, bit annoyed that he's going to have to go to and from the beach a little bit more frequently, but
he just dive off the ship.
He doesn't remember being bitten by an orca.
Not by an orca. He did have a close miss with a shark, but didn't think anything of it. It was an actual shark.
And do the pickled onions make him feel better?
Yeah, Drew's actually been going through most people's pint glasses.
Is there anything other than the shark attack, which if it did transfer, it would be a bit odd because shark and orca, as I found out recently, are not related. Is there anything strange that's happened to you since we've landed, since we've docked, that might explain why you're suddenly, water dependent?
Drew does not know. Literally, the first time that he had transformed was on that boat there and then. Mostly because it had been almost 4 weeks since the last full moon.
And it didn't take us 4 weeks to travel? How long did it take us to get from the Sword Coast to here?
God, you're asking me a lot of these. How long does it take to sail? And how far is it from the Sword Coast to the thing? I think that the ship's dotted around a couple of ports, so it wasn't literally a straight journey from Baldur's Gate to the Moonshade. It had done a couple of stops before picking people up to go to this. So the journey would have been longer than 4 weeks, but this near miss happened a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And there hasn't been a full moon since.
Okay. Does the priestess react at all to Drew being conscious and being out and about and answering questions? She summoned the false moon.
She does react. What that reaction necessarily means, you might not be sure, but she does react to him and kind of quietens down rather than like making any reactions. Kind of goes a bit more quiet.
Okay, so not hissing, not like any of these. Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much all the information you get from Drew. So you can begin trolleying the Sahuagin to the beach, or maybe just off the pier.
Yeah. Are we doing that first and then go into the blacksmith, or are we gonna take her to the blacksmith?
I kind of want to take her to the blacksmith first.
I think the intention was that check the talk to the blacksmith, and if there's anything like any symbology there or anything to do with the rings that we can show her to see if she reacts to that as well.
Who's pushing the trolley?
Who is strong?
Who is strong?
Pushing the trolley halfway up this hill.
I mean,
I can grease the wheels, but I am not strong.
I can assist someone, but I can't.
I'm fairly strong. I mean, 15.
Yes, you are strong compared to everyone else. You are strong.
Yes,
you know.
Okay.
Put the wing to the wheel and.
All right. So Warren has been given the arduous task of pushing a Sahuagin in a barrel up the hill.
I'm dressed for the occasion. I mean, there's no sleeves on my vest.
So, you are heading up the main street, which leads directly to the town square. Now, as previously mentioned, the town square is more kind of trapezoidal. The northern edge is the shorter side. And is almost completely taken up by the town hall. And then the other shops kind of form the slightly pinched in sides, and then the bottom. The blacksmith's is one of the shops nearer towards the middle on the long edge. And you can see that more or less, well, next door to the blacksmith, more or less central, is the bakery. You can see so in the center of the town square there is a large fountain. It's getting on for late afternoon, so most of the trades people have packed up already. But the fountain is of it depicts a nude woman, but with an octopus body from the waist down. And each of the tentacles is raised up, and water spews from suction pods, a line of 3 suction pods at the end of each of these tentacles. And she's in a very kind of powerful stance, exalting up towards the sky. And you also notice on the corner, the eastern corner, up near to where the town hall is, you can see the former butcher's shop, which is now owned by Lengfair and run as a fishmonger's. It has the sign is a silhouette of a pig, but someone's painted on the sign, rock on a hard place. Place being spelled like the fish, and rock being spelled like the fish. But you head towards the shop that you're interested in, which is the blacksmith's. you can see the sign outside the blacksmith's says locks, stocks, and 2 sloping bar grills.
What use is a sloping bar grill to anyone?
Listen, I know we're not encouraging it, but I can't. It comes of its own accord.
As if you can peer into the shop window, you can see that there seems to be an overabundance of candlesticks, candlestick holders, that sort of thing, amongst other objects. But it seems to be that is something that the smithy is keen on making. Do you enter the shop?
I'm glad that we've covered the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker.
Yeah, I was waiting.
So-
I'm glad you spotted that because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't in the first campaign.
Yeah, let's go in. Let's find Lumberjack.
You can see coming towards the door through the windows a male tiefling, looks to be sort of late 30s. He's thin and angular, but and not an unattractive face, but like kind of lots of kind of angles that makes him distinguished. He's bluish purple, has bluish purple hued skin with curving ram's horns framing his face. He sees you all, kind of frowns at first, but then notices Keith, who he would have gone to for the bar, kind of figures what's going on and will unlock the door. You do notice that the keys that he used are quite embellished, quite well manufactured. Hello, my dears. Are you all right? You were from the wedding, yeah?
Greetings, my fine purveyor of wrought goods. My name is one Emphia Hoot, professional adventuress. This is my coterie, Keith. Have we established a name yet? Okay, we'll keep working on it.
What?
Sorry,
It's on
name
the
for-
list.
Right, yes, we just have the blacksmith on the list because I do not remember the name.
No, not the blacksmith's name. The our team name.
Oh, our team
A
name.
troop.
The Hootenannies.
Oh, yes, we are the Hoot Nannies. Good work, Keith. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm the Hoot. These are the nannies.
Apt description, perfect.
Pleasure.
This Japanese for what? Oh,
We're here to solve a crime.
all right. Well, did you want to come in? There's some seats at the back.
That sounds good.
Yeah, rather than sitting out in the street. Right. We'll kind of stand aside and let you all go. And you can see that he clearly lives above the shop, and he's come through from the back. As you go past, like the stacked up shelves of various candelabra and bric-a-brac, you do notice a sign on the wall that just says "No magic in the back room, please."
That sounds like a very boring Friday night. Anyway,
So-
what do you know about rings? Sir, what do you know about wedding rings?
Wedding rings. Oh, you looking to commission some? I mean, it's
No,
not you-
no. We're investigating ones that you've previously made.
the 2 rings.
Hmm.
You
3
may have
rings.
a insight check.
Oh,
Or does someone say 3 rings?
I said 3 rings.
yeah.
You can make an insight check with advantage.
Yes.
Ooh, I can roll 2 dice. That's a d6. Don't want to roll that.
Yeah, no, roll 2 of them.
Yeah.
You touch it, you buy it. It's another sign in the shop.
Oh no.
Can you add +3 to that roll for me, please?
I can. Thank you.
You get it with a little bit of Dutch courage.
Ooh.
wherever Dutch is.
So I for my insight, I rolled a 3 and a 4, so that is 12 in total with the +3.
Oh, because your modifier as well.
Those are my natural rolls.
Okay, sorry, I was like, that maths doesn't math. Steve?
9 plus 5, 14.
Do we all get advantage or just Brian?
No, everyone.
Oh, great.
Oh,
It's
well,
one of
that
those moments where I want you to roll high. So
Great.
you all get, come on, 8 rolls.
Sorry,
In
I
that
just
case-
rolled a nat 1 and a nat 20 at the same time.
Yes.
I'm taking a picture of this. That's cool.
We had the double nat 20s last week, and it's the traffic lights this week.
So that's better. That's 14 plus 5, 19.
Oh, nice. Okay.
None that's
Could-
funny.
Could
did
Keith
that.
have given the +3 to Wearin instead of me?
Yeah, if I can, that would be nice.
Sure.
As an average, you fall. Yeah, like I think it's fine. Yeah, that's a lie. He said 2. When you said 3, there's a definite kind of eyes darting to you, as if he's thinking, "Shit, how do you know about the third ring?" Kind of moment. No, two. I mean, you know, it wasn't a polyamorous wedding, of course. No, so it was just the 2 rings.
Hmm.
I mean, have you met our Sahuagin friend here before?
Ugh. How'd you sneak
No,
a barrel
no,
in?
Sahuagin.
So,
Or- right, you're investigating. What? Why? What happened? I mean, you know, things attacked the ship, and I got out of Dodge. So
Yeah, the ship was attacked, and the rings were taken.
and the ceremony
The
was
2
interrupted.
Exactly. 2 of the rings were taken.
But he was there before, right?
Palmer Jack was at the wedding.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell us what you saw happen?
Look, I didn't see nothing. All right. No, I don't mean that in a double negative sense. Look, I was in the fog cloud. I was sitting near the edge of the boat. I got out
Which
of there
side?
quick. I was on Patsy's side, on the Hoot side. Look, I can't tell you nothing about where the rings might have gone, but I can give you some information that I did find out when I was examining that original ring.
Well,
Hell.
Right. I don't know why, but it was a magic ring, and you know I was able to forge it into the 2 rings initially was what I was planning, but some of the features of the ring was I didn't really think that they'd want it, so I thought, well, I can put some harmless features in the 2 rings, and the slightly less, you know, desirable feature in a 3rd ring. I suppose you're going to want to know what those rings were.
yes, keep
Absolutely.
talking and we'll tell you when we're done.
Do
Right.
you happen to know what the magical properties were of the ring as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I can tell you the details of the rings if you want, like, you know, D cut, all of that,
Please do.
L size. But I think the more interesting stuff is actually what this ring originally did. So I was able to put some features into the 2 rings that were to be given away. One of them is now technically a ring of land breathing. The other one is a ring of land walking. So, you know, pretty useless really for most folk. But you know, they wanted these rings. It was meant to be a good present, isn't it? The 3rd ring, that was the one that got the slightly undesirable features. It's got 2. It's a ring of wetness for one thing. Didn't feature, you know, didn't figure that either of them would want to be constantly kept wet.
I mean, I figured that'd be important on a wedding.
The other thing is it. Wait, what?
Keith, please.
You started it.
I don't know. No, that's fair.
Look, it's a ring of were hiding. If it's worn by a lycanthrope, you can't determine that they are a lycanthrope, and you can't find them. I'm glad. I'm not an idiot. You know, we've had problems with were creatures before, and also there wasn't enough material in that one ring to make 3 rings, really. So I laid that 3rd ring with some silver. I hope that would do enough to keep it out of, the wrong hands, considering what it does.
You laid a ring with the properties of hiding a were person's identity with silver. Do you not think that's a bit counterintuitive?
Yeah, deliberately. I don't want were creatures to be hidden.
Right, I see.
And
Yes.
does that mean then that when the ring was 1 ring, when the 3 rings were 1 ring, that they had all 4 properties?
Yeah, that 1 ring had all the 3, but me breaking it down into constituents, I was able to put a property in each of the rings.
And the previous owner of the ring, speaking to Layfair about it, they were a were-shark?
Yeah, you're talking about Garen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was he a natural were-shark, or was he bitten?
Look, I'm a bit fuzzy on the details, yeah, but after all of the events, a few, like 7 months ago, yeah. Well, Langfair wanted some answers, so we paid a wizard to do one of them spells, so that we could get like some knowledge about it. So Giran and Belinda and myself, we was really close. We was thick as thieves, and we used to go fishing. And one night, Garen went overboard. It was a particularly bad storm, and we searched for him, but we couldn't see him, and there were sharks in the water, so we kind of had to just leave. No point in all of us going down. We kind of left him for dead. And then the next morning he turned up. Well, this wizard says that the only reason he survived that is because he made a pact with a goddess Umberly to survive, and in return he had to kill a land creature every day, which obviously as a butcher isn't too hard, but well, as soon as Langfair gained sentience, he no longer had an option. And that's when he went off the rails.
Now, Langfair said that the ring that she had was from Garen.
Yeah.
So this we believe that this ring, Umberly gave it to Garen, and this was what was hiding his were-sharkiness.
I imagine so. It was, to be honest, like, because it was bigger than a ring before. It was more kind of like almost like a bracelet, but you put it through her nose. I did wonder why she was particularly sweaty.
And Langfair said that she wanted to give this ring of hers as a gift to my niece and Isbeth. Now, did Langfair know about the magical properties, or did you discover them upon trying to rot it?
Second one. I haven't told a soul. I'd really rather that they didn't know, because that's a crusher, like knowing that she was, carrying this item, this cursed ring, like, no, but it's dredging up old memories. You didn't think there was any point in worrying her about it.
No, that's fine, but also that is important. Now, you say that you haven't told a soul about the magical properties of this ring.
Yeah, Look, I know it's unethical. I know I should have probably told your niece and lovely tabaxi lady, but what's the point of worrying people, you know?
No, it's actually it's allaying my concerns a little bit. Although,
You have.
Go ahead, Faerun.
I'm sorry. Do you still have the molds from the rings? The rings need to be replaced. The ceremony has to continue, but the non-magical duplicates of the rings copies of the rings would.
Ah, I see.
Would be extremely useful.
Yeah, I could probably make some duplicates. I don't think anybody had studied them long enough that we could just say that they're the same rings. If you're all right with that deception.
How long would it take you to do that?
There was quite a bit of hard earnest work put into them. Like I molded them, and then I did some freehand because you want them to be unique, don't you? Couple of days.
So
Any way to expedite that?
I mean, I could start working on first thing. If I don't open up the shop, then I won't have any distractions.
For your troubles, I'll give him my silver bracelet.
Oh, very. Yeah, Tar. Look, I've got something else that I need to admit. I figured that keeping the third ring here, if anything came of it, probably not a good idea. So I sold it.
Yes, that was going to be my follow-up question. Is where is the third ring?
I sold
Whom did you sell it to?
I sold it to the nice lady that runs the lighthouse. So you would all know because it's up on the cliff. There is a stubby round lighthouse up on the western cliff, as close to the edge as possible. It is run by a gnomish woman by the name of Gidgy Tingle.
Steady on.
No magic in the back room here now.
Yeah, she's a
Do you have
gnome.
a spelling for Gidgy?
GHIDGITINGUL. For most people, those will appear on the wiki at some point. Yeah, so it's a two-story lighthouse, but the upper floor revolves through the gnomish engineering work that's gone into it. So the light obviously keeps ships away from the shore in the dock.
Can I look at the Sahuagin priest in the barrel and see if there's any sort of recollection or understanding? It might be that she can only speak Sahuagin, but it doesn't mean that she doesn't understand common. I want to know if she's understanding what's being said.
Weron did know that Sahuagin don't speak common. So
Speak it, but she might understand it.
Okay, in game terms, my understanding is that that's the same thing. She does not understand common.
Okay.
I will allow you an insight roll as you look at her, though.
Oh my god. Okay, my roll together dice are betraying me. That was another 3 for an 8.
Yeah. Just looks like a fish in a barrel.
It makes me think that if you've sold if the ring has been sold to the lighthouse keeper, that maybe the lighthouse keeper is going to be a target if they're looking to get all 3 rings.
I mean, only if they know how to find a ring that's been broken up. I honestly, I don't know how that sort of magic works, but my understanding is that you've got to be familiar with it, and the only thing they're really familiar with is the properties. They don't know what I made it look like.
But you yourself are familiar with the ring, and are something of a magical craftsman. Am I right in thinking?
I mean, I tinker, I do a little bit of, repurposing magic items, but to be honest, it's much more repurposing, not so much infusing with my own spells. Like I don't have innate magic, if you know what I mean, but I know how to transfer.
That's right. I was just checking if you would know how to find magical objects, but that's okay. Keith?
Does the lighthouse keeper know of the specific magical properties of this third ring?
Yeah, that was actually why she was interested in it. So yeah, her son is what's that elemental when it's like
Genasi?
Yeah, her son's a Genasi. And wanted it for the wetness property. So
everyone wants the ring for the wetness.
Not a fire Genasi, I hope.
What? Not fire.
Hoping not a fire Genasi wanting to be wet, because that would be a bit steamy.
I'm sure. Well,
maybe he's met the love of his life, and there's some logistical issues to work out. We can't judge people, Brian. Honestly.
What digit did you think that I made this ring to fit?
You said it was a very large ring.
The occasion. It fits the occasion.
Yes, Faerun, the classy answer. That's what you're here for.
It was a bracelet before.
Yes. So, Keith, we need to add
you know about sharks
to the list.
Yep. I like to imagine my board. I've just kind of fidgeted with it, and now it's kind of like unraveling. I kind of put it in and out, just kind of connecting new things as we go.
Nice.
Do you have any sketches of the of your work, Lumberjack? Sketches of the rings, like, or when you freehanded, do you have any molds? Do you have anything?
Yeah, I designed it, and like they're not perfect replicas, but I do have in again, not in the same materials, but in just like some cheaper copper. I did make some mock-ups. Is that helpful?
It would be extremely helpful. I'd love to see them, and again, search them for like Umberly symbols or anything that might have like remained from this from maybe the original appearance of the ring.
Yeah, he goes over to like an iron dressing table sort of thing, goes through his keys, selects a equally finely wrought key, and open and unlocks one of the drawers, and comes back with a like a stand with holders for 3 rings, and you can see that the 3 rings are kind of laid out, and you can see that most of the design is kind of similar to Celtic knotwork, wherever Celt is, except that one has been done as a kind of engraved. Sorry, I seem to have destroyed Nat. One has
just blow my nose. Sorry.
one has been engraved with the pattern, and the other one it's a relief.
Okay.
Pattern. That's the 2 wedding rings that have been made, obviously, to match. There's some kind of slightly nautical elements as well, representing the town. The 3rd ring has been made to look different, like it wasn't meant to be a matching ring for the set, but has a kind of recurring wave pattern.
Okay.
Now, you don't know whether Pommerjack has any knowledge of Umberly, but the waves do at least seem to be all facing the same direction rather than back to back, which tends to be Umberly's symbol.
Okay.
Do you happen to have any? Silver paint?
Silver paint?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking for like you want to silver some weapons?
No. I mean, like, you know how sometimes you can get, silver coins aren't actually made out of silver. They're just like another type of material that's then painted over in silver. I'm wondering if we could take these rings and paint them silver, and maybe use them as a decoy, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, obviously don't let them touch it, because the silver paint's not going to have the same effect as actual silver.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah. It's just look for visual representation. We noticed before that the the sewage in the barrel there had a bit of a reaction to seeing the ring. So maybe having the third ring at least might.
In terms of silver paint, I might be able to do something if the DM allows it.
Go on.
Magical tinkering
Yeah.
can change or imbue an item indefinitely with a certain effect. It doesn't say specifically changing its color or hue, but you can add light, etc. to it. Would you allow that I can just change them into looking silver?
I mean, I think that's a phenomenal use of the ability in a story thing. I imagine you probably want to do that when she's not looking.
Yeah.
But
yes.
yeah, you can absolutely do that. Yeah, at your leisure.
Excellent.
Have you had in the last, since you worked on the rings, have you had any tabaxi customers in here?
Tabaxi?
Tabaxi,
Only
ginger and white coloration?
only Isabeth.
Only Isabeth?
Yeah, none of the other. You're talking about a family, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. No, none of them been in the shop. Not what I've seen.
You might want to
Is
check
Isabeth
your
alone?
security.
Oh.
What did Warren say? Sorry.
I said Isabeth alone. Do you?
No. Isabeth was with Patsy. You know.
Okay.
You know, it's a ring shop in. They wanted to pick designs, and they wanted the interlocking. You know, sort of cog work. But yeah, no, I've not seen any of the others around. I think they only got to town like last couple of days.
I can, every so often, create a lamp that allows us to see invisibility if we think that maybe there are some sneaky kitties in this town.
I think that might be a good idea, Keith.
I'm
'Cause at the
feeling very
moment,
useful right now.
I like it how you. I like it how you use your ears to do the hair flick.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is every time.
Incredible.
I
I think everyone's just like looking in all the corners of the room, like as if there was an invisible tabaxi there, and she's like, "Aha! I catch you? No."
Poke, poke, poke.
I think I think we. I don't know about everybody else, but I think maybe going to the lighthouse and seeing if we can get the ring off of the known person would be a good idea. Hopefully their child hasn't gone away with the ring. Maybe we
Yes.
could trade it for one of these ones. I know it doesn't have the same magical properties, but
If it's the magical properties that she was after, but it would be good to confirm that that is indeed where the third ring has stayed, at the very least,
yeah.
because we want to make sure that there's no secret where people hiding secrets, I suppose.
Or Sahuagin raiders somewhere trying to get the third ring. I don't know.
Yes.
If it takes a weight off your mind, I didn't tell her about the wear properties like that. That's a secret. I didn't think I'd tell anybody.
Just the wetness.
Yeah, well, that's what she wanted. She literally came in. Do you have anything for wetness? I'm starting to see why that's a weird request now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Why go to a blacksmith for that? Surely the apothecary.
No, because I've got some magic items. Wait, what?
I'm just gonna give Pommer Jack a little tap on the shoulder. Don't worry, dear.
Seriously, am I missing some in jokes?
Yeah. Yes, apparently.
in out jokes, yes. Anyway, do we have any other questions?
I think your secrets are safe with us. Parmajack will keep them as long as we can.
Yeah. I mean, you're part of the family, the wedding party, so I'll trust you implicitly. So it's all good. You're not going to take her up to the lighthouse, no?
Oh no, we were going to take her to the seafront. Do you
Right.
have
Back to
any sort of tracking devices?
Very weird question. I might have something. Or like a kind of one-way sending stone sort of thing.
Yes, that'll do.
Yes, something that
Alright.
we can sort of ping when we want to find them.
Yeah, might have
we
something.
want to let her go, so we're not like dragging her around everywhere. The poor thing probably needs to stretch her legs, but I say the poor thing. She did ruin the wedding. But you know, we want to be able to find her again.
Well, yeah, actually, I do have. You know, I was hoping to find some way of fixing it because you know it's a little bit beyond my ken. But if it's useful to you, I do actually have this this set of sending stones is probably the best description for them. But yeah, they only work one way. One of them stopped receiving. Well, one of them stopped sending. It's become more of just a receiving stone, and the other ones and kind of goes over. And there's a pair of stones. Kind of he's kept one on the bottom, one on the top, and right. So the top one that's the one that gives, and then the other one's just a receiver.
I've known plenty of those. Now, I want to be clear. The one that the stone that sends, is that the one that we want if we want to know where the other one is, or do we want the one that just receives?
You want to give her the receiver.
Right. Gotcha. You don't have any other sort of magical jewelry laying around?
What is that after?
I don't know. What you got? Something
right,
for a
roll.
woman of fine taste.
Roll me a D100. In fact, all of you.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know why I just went ooh, but okay. There's been a lot of that this session.
Ooh, 80.
72.
86.
Hi, Rollin.
Hang on.
Oh dear.
Write these down. Sorry, Steve. What did you get?
80.
Evie,
86.
Josh,
To fit with how the session's gone, 69.
Nat,
72.
and can you all please roll me a D12 as well?
Oh,
Testing you now. Can you find it?
There's no crude numbers that I can roll on this, which is good.
4 for Evie,
9.
9 for Nat, 5 for Steve,
Yep.
3.
3. Right. In ascending order. This is my home game players' favourite set of tables to roll on. Every time they go into a particular shop in Leylon, they ask to go to Aubrey's Peculiarities shop, and they generally get to roll on one of these tables. Josh, as you are looking around, you notice a thin tube full of iron filings with the seal of a noble house from Waterdeep on both ends.
Ooh.
Evie, you are looking around the things. You find a small box containing bloody teeth and fingernails. The box has the word mother inscribed on the top.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear God.
Steve, with your 80, you find a thin sheet of cooking paper that's been folded into a swan.
Okay.
And Nat, I'm going to have to scroll a little bit more to go to table 9. You find an old chess piece made from glass.
Which piece?
It's the bishop.
Okay.
May I please cast Identify on the mother?
I think, given that we've slightly gone over time, I'm going to have a EastEnders style as we give me time to work out who the mother is. Yeah, that's it. We're done. Over to the end script, which I totally have ready. So thank you, everyone, for the mystery and intrigue of today's show. If you enjoyed tonight, we play D&D every Monday and Tuesday from 6 p.m. UK time. You can also join us on Friday, again for 6 p.m. UK time, where we play other TTRPGs. All of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg, and you can find all of our content archived at youtube.com/rolltogetherrpg. There are also podcast versions of all of our shows available everywhere. So just search for Roll Together RPG. A massive thank you to our D&D Club on Patreon. There will be a link in the chat now, so please do join them because every penny helps us to make all of the content that we do. Big thanks again to our sponsors and supporters, and don't forget, we're all over social media as Roll Together RPG. And I'm going to leave you with one last thing that Pommerjack, as you would be leaving the shop, simply turns to you and says, well, if you're taking her down to the docks, then from there the quickest way up to the top of the cliffs is to take the rock lifts. And I will reveal what that might be next session.